can you hear me? Armin did not connect to audio. Armin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
I can, but you don't. Where's your dope mic?
It is unplugged right now. It's here somewhere.
Because why?
I'm trying to use a new setup, and I didn't have the time to get everything all together.
Glad you're experimenting.
Can you see me?
Nope, you just went
Not
dark.
now.
You just went dark.
Why did I go dark?
Well, while you're figuring that out, I'm going to welcome everybody to this broadcast. It's 11:47 Eastern time. I'm your host. I'm Matt. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. Jack, where are you broadcasting from this morning?
Upstairs in my Colorado Springs house. It's only 9:47 for me and the people who don't live on the East Coast.
That's fantastic.
A little earlier.
Armin is in the home of all things hip and now and wonderful and groovy, Austin, Texas. How are you, Armin Hammer?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. It's been a decent morning so far. I had some coffee, played with the dogs, enjoying the new year, hanging out with you guys. You fine young gentlemen.
Matt, young, yeah. No, you have some cool walls behind there. I just have some boring white one behind me, but you've got a cool setup.
Yeah, it's it's like the little studio space.
Yeah.
Camera went out again. What is going on right now? All right, I'm gonna figure this out. Hang tight.
Very disappointed in Armin. Listen, we don't have a ton of time to chit chat before this amazing show begins. So everyone wants to know. You've looked at the graphs, you've looked at the charts, you've probably scouted the skies. Jack, who do you see on the podium for this event? The Hyrox. First of all, we should get the name right because there have been a few Hyrox championships this year.
Yes, not the virtual championship. This is the Elite 12.
Is that what they're calling it? The Elite 12?
Well, I don't. It's like the champion of fitness world. It's just some other combo. They're CrossFit.
They're calling it the Hyrox World Championships of Fitness Elite 12. Yes, that's what they're calling it.
There we go. Yeah, that rolls off the tongue. I think I'm going to get a tattoo of that.
Okay. So who do you see? Who do you see? 1, 2, and 3. Let's do the women first. How about that?
Okay. So last year, I don't know what happened, but heading into the end of the race, like heading into the wall balls, Rebecca Nather was right up there. Sarah Colte was 50 seconds behind her, and Imka Salander, she came to Miami. She already, she kind of had the race in the bag, but Rebecca and Sarah were really, really close at that point late in the race. They have a bunch of experience, and no offense to someone like Sam Briggs, she's a fantastic athlete, one of the best in the world, literally at stuff like this. I've looked over the data, and people definitely improve a lot over their, the second time doing it, third time doing it. It's one of those things that you just don't get perfect your first attempt. I think Sam's going to do really well, but honestly, I think Sarah, if you look at every single person's performance in the history of the event, Sarah, she has the first, third, fourth, sixth, eighth, and 17th best time of all time.
When you say, what do they not get? What do they not get right the first time? What do they?
It just looks like a lot of people go out a little too fast on the run, and then they struggle having that next gear on the lunges and the wall balls towards the end. Like they just pace it a little too poorly, thinking that they're going to have a little bit more juice left in the race. And I mean, by the second or third time doing it, they improve a ton. Like Lauren Weeks, she had the 7th fastest of all time, but her 2 before then were 10th and 12th. Like she just improved. Her running splits looked like they were a lot more consistent because she kind of knew, wait, I have to go out a little slower if I'm going to hold this pace. Same thing on a couple of the other, stations. People just tend to pace it better in their second and third attempts. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sam does really well, but I think pacing is going to be a little bit of a shock for some of the people who've only done it once or so, or none. But anyway, just to answer the question, I'm going to go Sarah first. Lauren Weeks, she's been on a roll. I'm going to go with her second, and third, Sam Briggs.
Armin, have you paid much attention to this Hyrox business? What do you think about what our man Jack just said?
I am going to like tip of the cap to Jack because I don't know nearly as much about this as Jack does. Like it sounds like Jack actually knows what all the like little workouts are, and I only know maybe 3 of them. So
Matt's actually done more Hyroxes than Sam Briggs. So there's a stat for you. Yeah.
That's a great stat. Is your time competitive with Sam's, do you think, Matt?
Will my time be competitive?
Yeah,
my runs might be. I don't know. We'll see how she runs.
Is your overall time going to beat Sam Briggs' time? Do you belong in the Elite 12 on the women's side, Matt?
I definitely do not involve in the Elite 12 on either side. But
Elite 12 podcasters.
Probably. I'm probably elite one of those. So why don't we pull those up? Is there I was like looking for a graphic of like the workouts. Jack probably knows them at the top of his head. Wait, let's see if I know them off the top of my head.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not going to know the measurements, so you'll help me with those, Jack. Okay.
Sure.
Help me with the measurements.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one, if I recall, is in fact the ski erg. So how many cows is that?
You love that one.
Because I could do it. How many cows was that?
1,000 meters.
1,000 meters on the ski erg.
Everything's meters in this. There's no yards, feet, calories.
Then
what's the run? The run is 1,000 meters each round?
Yes.
For a total of 10K, correct?
No, 8,000 meters.
Sorry,
it's 5 miles.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, 8.
4.97.
The second workout the push already?
Sled push. Yep.
Oh my God. And how much
they
is the
crush you right away?
Oh,
destroy
you.
25 meters out and back. So 50 total. If you're doing the pro division, it's a lot heavier. Men, it's 375 plus the weight of the sled. The turf, which I was going to bring up, is a huge difference.
Let's hold off on the turf. Let's just get through these workouts.
Can you just finish this and then I'll get on the turf? Yeah.
Okay. So what are the weights on the push?
It's like 375 for men plus the sled, so like 465 or so, and women are somewhere in the mid 300s when you add in the sled.
Right. And then is the pull the same or is it less?
I think they've removed one plate, but it's the same 2 by 25 meters.
Then we do the burpee broad jumps.
Yes. 80 meters of that sucks.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it takes people like 2.5, 3 minutes if you're cruising.
So horrible.
Yeah.
And then is the row up next?
You're killing it so far, Matt. 2021, you're just a smart guy. Yeah, 1,000-meter row.
Right. And then carry the little kettlebells.
That's how you carry them. That's your farmer. No wonder why you're slow. But no, farmers carry correct 200 meters. And for the men, I believe it's a 70. And for the women, I think it's a 24 kilograms, so like 53. And you have 200 meters of that. And it's kind of a winding S curve. So
is it a pair of kettlebells or just one?
Yeah, one in each hand.
Okay.
And then we wrap up with the wall balls.
You skipped one. That's only 7.
Oh, hang on.
What's you went to you failed. I let you have it till then.
I didn't fail.
Okay. How long are the lunges? Yeah, that's a double thumbs down.
If you just gave me a moment, I would have remembered. It's sandbag lunges though. It's not just lunges, right?
Yep, sandbag lunges.
How much are we carrying on our backs?
I believe it's 60 and 40.
So
100 meters of it.
And then 100 wall balls.
100 wall balls, 2014.
Right.
The pounds. Yep.
So does that help you? Are you getting a better idea, Armin, now? Do we understand?
Yes. Now I have a better idea of what the movements are, and I'm still going to tip my cap to Jack because he definitely knows more about this than I do.
I have raced 3 times, so I do have a little insight also on, how you'll feel towards the end of it when you're going to feel like death and stuff and when that starts happening. So it's not just the numbers. I have a little experience with it.
I also, I can tell you, I think pretty accurately how long any of those individual pieces will take, but I don't know how long running 1K takes. So like, I don't know how quickly of a pace they run it, like, are they running?
Yeah.
Like
so
3:30, 4-minute 1Ks, like.
Yeah, that's definitely faster than the bet. Like Hunter's averaging about 345 to 350. Easy way to do the math off the top of your head. Say you want to run a 20-minute 5K, just divide it by 5, and each K will be about 4 minutes. So you're running about 20-minute 5K pace if you're running 4 flat. Most of these people, because they're all compromised, are probably going to be in the high 3s. The women, they tend to average about 35 to 38 for their total. So they're probably running 14s, like 410, 420 or so for most of their 1Ks. And there'd be a
Seems pretty
lot.
fast.
You'll see it's at the beginning. People are going to go out at like 3:30, 3:40 for their first K, and then it's like by the end it's like 4:10. It's because you just don't understand how much your body is going to break down. You're like, oh, 100 wall balls, I've done that before. Oh, 100, 100 meters of lunges, but you don't realize how much they stack up and really impact. You can't fake 1,000. You could fake like a 400, a lap around a track, but this really reveals your flaws.
And so it sounds like getting close to about an hour or breaking the hour is like
correct.
Really good.
The women's record is an hour 5 by Sarah Colte, and Hunter has broken an hour twice and just missed it by like 20 seconds his other time. But yeah, there are only like 5 or 6 people who've ever broken an hour when it comes to the men's side, and the women are
that's pretty. That sounds pretty gnarly. That does sound pretty gnarly.
Do you want to quickly talk about this carpet business, Jack?
Yeah, I want to add one other thing with the running, since we were just discussing that. They, due to COVID, they're not having their typical format. They're running on a curved treadmill. And Armin, I'm sure you have plenty of experience with the differences in that. It looked, just based on the research, it's going to be like a 20% slower difference. Or you're going to stay on it 20% longer. So if you're running a 6-minute mile, it actually might take you 7 to run it on the curved treadmill versus on the ground. Like we're not going to see record times. And if we do, like, their equivalent performance on flat ground would have just been mind blowing how fast it'd be.
Why is it so much slower on the thing?
It's a harder run on the curved treadmills. It's your own manpower that's moving it. It's much more posterior chain aggressive than it is compared to running on flat ground or running a track. And I think because people aren't necessarily used to that, like unless you're putting in a lot of mileage on that thing, your body's just not going to be used to it. And it also, like, not only does it tax, hips, glutes, hammies, low back a lot more than running usually would, because it's really difficult to gauge how you run across it. It's very hard to have a consistent pace unless you've spent a lot of time on it. Because if you like push forward a little bit longer, it sprints very, very quickly. And then if you push back a little bit more, it like immediately slows down and stops moving. So finding a consistent rhythm on it and being comfortable with that consistent rhythm is very, very challenging on that. I think, I'm assuming they're using assault runners.
I believe so. Yeah. So basically, if you're saying this right, say that you're trying to run 180 steps a minute. If you drop down to like 178 a couple times, like, and then you're I need to speed up a little, like you're just going to get a funky stride, and that's going to hurt you a lot more.
Yeah. It's very difficult to modulate pace on the assault runner or any of those curved treadmills unless you spend a lot of time on them, because even dropping your cadence, 1 or 2 steps, is going to make a massive difference as to like what your overall output is on it. And then it becomes very difficult to correct the appropriate amount in the opposite direction. Usually people, I think that might be one of the reasons why I would expect people to start off way too fast, because it's almost built to force you to start off too fast on that thing. And it will absolutely punish anybody who tries to take it on too quickly.
I'm predicting a bunch of it'll look like a middle school track meet where like everyone's running the 800 and they're like, I'm gonna sprint right from the start, and then it just turns out terribly, and the last lap is, last half of the race is just a death crawl. So
I would absolutely agree with that. I think that would be really fun to watch too.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the amazing countdown clock. If you've watched any of my amazing live watch-alongs, you're very familiar with this awesome clock and the music. I'm getting very excited.
I saw a picture on Hunter's Instagram where they were all sort of like the banks of the runners were all in front of a big screen. What is that screen showing?
Heart rate. Like it had the percent on there and stuff. They had that at my gym, and basically I'm assuming that they asked everybody to wear a chest strap, and it has their name and then whatever percent of your max. And I don't know if they actually calibrated that, but you're going to see your heart rate spike a little bit during the sled push or something, but it might drop a little bit during that. Yeah.
That's one thing that I've been suggesting they should do in CrossFit for so long is like do
Biometrics.
actual biometrics, because it'd be so fascinating to see that. I mean, the athletes don't necessarily need to see it, but like for the fans and for the broadcast, that was so interesting to watch and to see what happens to the body during these things. And like the NFL has such crazy advanced metrics and like, little moving measurement things that they put in the pads and stuff. Like why couldn't they force them all to wear like not a bib, but like a shoulder strap or something, whatever.
Yeah. I have a heart rate monitor. It literally goes in my upper bicep. It doesn't get in the way of anything. Like you could easily do that.
I'd love to see it. That'd be super cool. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. I have a watched goose egg amount of Hyrox. Like I don't know anything about it other than like one time I was talking to Hunter and he was like, yeah, I have the world record on this thing. And I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, you're built perfectly for it. So
yeah,
makes sense.
So glad I reached out to you this morning, Armin.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for that type of hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah. He's gonna see it and be like, oh wow, that guy's going way too fast. That's an unsustainable pace. So all right. So Matt, you're on mute, it looks like. What are we doing? We're just keeping it mute the whole time?
I mean, I guess.
Maybe during
wait, there's Hyrox.
Yeah,
okay.
let's put it on for the intro.
You have to share your audio, not just the screen.
Oh my God, then it's gonna be too loud. Hang on.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't get pulled either. Uh-oh.
So will not only battle themselves, but they will battle the
I thought
mental
we got dropped.
toughness, perseverance, and the physical.
But that's another reason why I didn't want to
champion.
necessarily share with.
Is the World Series of Fitness.
The World Series of Fitness. Can I tell you that is okay? It's great that like a company's using that, but that used to be what we would use as like a joke to make fun of CrossFit. Like the CrossFit Games was the World Series of Exercise.
Right.
And
well, I don't know if you know this, but the Spartan Games is crowning the fittest at the Spartan Games.
Right. I saw that. Everybody's trying to be the fittest competitor. It's great. It's marketing is beautiful, isn't it?
All right, everyone, that is your top 12 male.
This dude's got a great chin.
That mustache
World
right there.
Championship. Now, let's walk
If you
through
like
the workouts.
Germans, this is definitely the
Flo is our
competition for
expert
you.
here today.
I wish we could have Hunter come on and give his German accent. So funny.
Here we set the pace for the competition.
Oh, he's not German. He's Italian?
Sled push. 175
Sled push.
kilo for men and
Sled
125
push.
for
Okay,
women.
so there's the actual
50
weight.
meters to complete for both
175 kilos.
Yep. So
And
that's
125 for the women.
385 plus a
Workout
90
number
sled.
3,
That's
sled pull.
475.
Yeah,
Ease
it's
your
365 on
Those
the
aren't the
women's side.
actual weights. He's not doing
no,
the
that's
actual
the-
weights. Those are easy. Look how easy he's doing it.
Woman,
That's the total weight,
50
though, right?
meters to complete.
125 and 75.
So 175 kilo
Workout number
plus
4,
the 90-pound
30
sled
row
after.
jump. 80
that.
meters
That's
to
the amount of
complete.
plates.
This is your first body weight
Jeez.
workout.
So it's
Just because
475.
Body weight doesn't mean it's easy. Workout number 5, 1,000-meter row. This workout is about consistency and power, not speed.
I think he might be from New Zealand. Is he from New Zealand?
I was going to say it sounds more New Zealand
Or
than
South
anything.
Africa?
Workout
South
number
Africa,
6
maybe.
is a 200
He's not from the
meter
north of the
arm
equator.
carry.
No.
2 times 32 kilo for the men, 2 times 24 kilos for the women.
So how do you guys have seen this
Workout
happen
number
before?
7
And these guys are
is
supposed to be like the
100-meter
best
sandbag lunges.
Hyrox,
The
like these are
athletes
the
will be
elite
weighted
12,
down
like the
with
best people
30
at this,
kilos for
right?
the men,
So
20
how do
for
like
the women.
normal competitors
Jack-
come in
will
from?
be burning.
Well, the truth is, this isn't though. This is like the Spartan thing in some ways because they got some people who have really good scores and some people they just invited. Like Klink had never done it before and Sam had never done it before, right?
Yeah, correct. That 9 of the 12 have a mark at this point, and of those people, like on the men's side, you have someone who has 8th best score, someone who has the 4th best score, another person who has 5th, Hunter has the 1st. So the people who are there have set a mark that's within like the top 6 or 8 all time. And on the women's side, it's very similar, like top 5 across the board.
So how do the people who are coming in, like, how do they deal with the weight stuff? Because it's not particularly heavy, but I feel like for, someone who's like an ultra marathoner or a triathlete or something, the idea of carrying 53-pound kettlebells or 70-pound kettlebells is like completely foreign.
It's wall balls are completely foreign. 100 at the end, like that's station 8, an hour plus. Like no one who's just starting this is an hour into it at that point. So yeah, you can ask Matt. He was walking like, you know, a baby giraffe the next day and probably multiple days after that. But it's brutal on the body.
Matt, is it brutal on the body?
Yeah, they call it the workout for everybody because the open weights aren't as hard. But I would say that it's extremely difficult for someone. But I also like literally never go to the gym. If you show up to this, it's because you've probably been to the gym at least once in the previous year or two. And I'd never touched a ski erg in my life. I had never touched a sled in my life. So I'm guessing if you show up, you at least have seen those things.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to show up and try and compete, I'd hope that you've put your hands on the skier.
But it's definitely not like it's like a 5K. Just show up and meet my friends there. It's definitely going to be going after the group, you know, the people that go to the. Oh, we starting already? Only goodness.
Yeah.
Hang on.
They also removed
so
two
glad
or
to have
three,
you here today. This
two or three
competition
plates
is going to
for
be
the open
fierce. As you
division.
can
So
see
it's not
right
that
now,
heavy
we
for
have a
like
mix
the
of
mats.
I see.
excitement and
But
nerves.
it's still difficult.
We get quiet, waiting for the call to start.
I like the setup. Like just the idea of having them all like
and there we go.
jump
We are
out
off
into
on
the
first 1,000
into
meter
the-
run of the competition.
machine and
All
then
these
have the
athletes,
screen
I
in
think
front
out
of them.
the corner of their eye, Flo, I think they're
Yep.
watching
So,
each other.
so I was looking
Exactly.
at
First of
the,
all, I'm
the
very
running,
excited to
and
get
if we're
all these
wondering who's the
athletes
best runner in the group, it's probably Lauren. Consistently, Sarah Colte, who has the world record time, actually is arguably the slowest runner in the field. So I wouldn't expect her to have a huge lead at this point. Rebecca Nather, who ended up getting second at last World Championship, she also she's a mid-pack runner, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Lauren Weeks or Linda Meyer get off.
I mean, who are we missing? Isn't there supposed to be 6?
Viola Oberlander is the other girl, and Sam Briggs.
No, we're missing somebody. There's 5 people on a bike.
Really?
When they do that wide shot again, check it out. We are
the link you sent me said someone had to drop out because they were
okay.
injured. They had an adductor injury. Hold on, I have it here.
It's probably Imka. She's the old record holder and winner last year.
You don't recognize all these people, Jack? Come on, you're the pro. You're the pro
Let's
record. You're the
see.
pro Hyroxer. Also, there's no such thing as a Hyrox mark, Jack. I know you tried to sneak that in earlier.
Oh, okay.
Wait, who's first off the bike? Is that Lauren? Lauren is second off the bike.
Lauren's
Who's that?
second. Sam,
Who's that?
maybe? She was taller. It looked like Sam.
Yeah,
I think.
Imka Salander.
Man,
she
if you're
looks-
walking already, this is gonna be a long race.
For who? For who is that?
Like that girl whose hands were by her hips.
I know, but you're supposed to know who they are.
Yeah, Jack, you're supposed to
I did all the numbers, guys. You can. at
Dude,
least
she's
identify.
dying. She's dying just from the run.
Happened right here. She just got off the runner, came over, and then nearly collapsed on the side. There you see Sarah Colte in the frame right now, really working hard. This is a bigger athlete. She's definitely going to dominate.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that's not a good strategy for success.
No. The pass out and die? No.
Yeah, pass out and die after 3.5 minutes of work is not a good strategy for success in
I'm in shock.
70-minute long workout.
She has to do that 7 more times, plus wall balls,
Yeah, so
plus
Sam Briggs
lunges,
is
plus
on
like
now
no.
as well.
Glad
Linda,
I don't think I picked
looks
her.
like she's back up, kind of pulling
Well, let's listen for a second, 'cause I wanna hear what her name is.
Linda Meyer. It says it on her shirt.
Once again,
No, that says
No,
my
that's-
laps.
I get the
Come
shake
on,
of the
Jack.
head. I think
What is
she's
your
telling
first
her
day?
she can't complete-
This is my pro. Come on.
We'll
Is she
follow
done?
up
Is she
and see
DQ?
what happens.
I do, in fact, have a better score than she
Yeah,
does, Jack.
I heard Hyrox saying
All the
we're
ladies
going to interview her.
really
So.
working hard. Notice the judges have their fingers up. This is going to give us a view into exactly.
What are
how
those
many
things on their
meters they have
faces?
left.
Is she
Each
okay?
runner representing 100 meters.
Like,
I
is
don't
she...
Also ich habe schon seit ein paar Monaten eigentlich Schienbeinschmerzen.
No,
Told
she's
you.
done.
Und
Told
ich
you it was
glaube,
Linda
das
Meyer.
Ding hat mir gerade irgendwie den Rest gegeben. Also ich
Is
bin
she
mal
like
wieder drauf
sick or
gelaufen.
something? Something's wrong, dude. There's no way.
No, clearly something went wrong, but she's speaking German and they haven't told anybody that we don't understand what she's saying.
Ja, das hat jetzt richtig gezogen. Also ich habe es halt nur mal
Am I watching the German feed by mistake?
Geht nicht mehr.
I don't think there's any other
So
feed.
it looks like
They were
Linda
speaking
Meyer
English in
is
the...
completely out. Shin splints to be to blame for this. But
Shin
As
splints.
you can see right here, judges' hands are up. We've got only 100 meters, and here it is. Viola
So-
is coming off.
You don't do this.
Let me
event if you
actually,
shin
I have an
splints.
explanation. I have an explanation for that.
The
The curve on these runners forces plantar or dorsiflexion on your foot because you can't really land like heel, so you have to like reach, and because it's curved up, you kind of have to dorsiflex a little bit when you're reaching out in front of you, so you land on like the ball of your foot. And if you're not used to doing that,
I mean, this
then
is, I mean,
your
you can really
your
kind of
shins are
gauge
gonna
how hard you're
cramp
pushing
very,
and
very
how hard
badly.
your competition is
So maybe she's like,
Exactly.
if
So
she has
it's not
literally
all
never
about
run
physical
on the
strength, but also
curved
They had to let her
treadmill
try it out.
before.
They had to let her
Yeah.
try it out.
They
like
got
they
there
did
a
before.
few days in
their
advance.
heart rate
Oh, well,
and their
then I don't
competitiveness,
know
so
what's
they
going on.
I mean, I think the good
where
news is
they're
that if you're in this
training hard to
competition
get
now,
pushed
there's a
forward.
pretty good chance you're on the podium.
So we're getting our first split times
Four-
coming in.
3 out of 4
now.
chance.
It looks like, I mean, Lauren Weeks, not too far behind.
Okay.
I mean, that was very
But
Spartan
Sam
of them,
Briggs,
though, to just have a
the,
German girl not translated in the time they had to edit the show. That was like a Spartan move. Shit, we forgot to translate what she was saying. We forgot the what do you call it?
And Viola
What's
popping
the
off.
words at the
I mean,
bottom
she
called?
looks
We
so
forgot
Subtitles?
Subtitles.
Yeah, we
What
forgot
is
that.
this?
Joel Oberlander, I believe they
Right
said.
now, there's not much to say, Ben. The way she performs, she looks
I wouldn't
fresh, she
worry.
looks
I
like
don't think the
she
race
is- she
begins
knows
until the
what she's
sled
doing,
pull.
she's been
And
prepared
here's
for
one
this
other thing.
moment.
The sled,
And,
we mentioned it,
there are two
Armin.
different techniques. So
I looked at
we have
the
Lauren
national
with a
breakdown.
bent arm
Roughly
and Viola with straight
16 to
arm.
20%
I
of
personally prefer the
finishers
straight arm
in
just because
history
you get a
have
bit
been from the
more
US.
for your lungs, it's not so
And
easy.
if you look at every
That
single
will go
station,
into your,
that you're having about 16 to
but again,
24%
different techniques,
of
we have
finishers,
right
like
Exactly.
you know, the
So,
top 100
anyways,
within
either
that
way
event.
that
So
you're looking
of
at
the top
these,
100,
the
20
ladies pushing the sled
male
up
or
and
the
down
20
floor.
or the
So
100 best
some folks
men.
are gonna be
20 of them
pushing
are from the
it,
U.S. If you look at the
halfway
lunges,
through, some folks
16
are
were
gonna
from
be
the U.S.
going
So it's a
all
pretty
the way
consistent
through,
breakdown.
the line.
3
So,
were in the
this
sled
is a
push.
very
7
interesting
were in the
story
sled
right now.
pull.
We have
And everyone in the
Sarah
I've done
Colton,
it. This
one of the
carpet
biggest
is
athletes in the field,
trash. Like Hunter,
racing head
he's
to
a
head
minute and a half
in fact,
plus slower than
passing
almost
Sam
everyone
Briggs
else in
as
this
she
field
goes
with
through her
best
first
mark.
lap.
There's no
Lauren
way
Weeks taking
Hunter
it all the way
is
back
a minute and a
down.
half
And
slower at a
I
sled
got
push,
to
something that
say,
he
I mean,
practices,
watching Viola in this
especially
steady state
against
right
guys
now,
who weigh 30 pounds
Lauren's
less than
taking
it. It makes
quick
no
break
sense.
and
So
Lauren,
What is that then?
all these. Now,
I don't
once
know.
again, we're
They
But they're
said-
moving way
huge
better
leg
than they
room
are.
right now.
Lauren's
Exactly.
crushing it.
So these
Jack, what
are
is your
also
what is your
qualities
thoughts
to
on
the
gloves
center
Lauren
of
is wearing there? We've
gravity
not seen
and
that, I
how
don't think,
true
from
the
Hunter
anybody.
wears
So
them.
making
Ryan
the
Kent
small
wore them.
steps
So,
really
like
key
you use them on
because
the
you want to
skier to
save
prevent
energy
just
right
a little bit
here.
of sweat buildup and
Exactly.
blisters on
So
there. A lot of
the-
people use
these
it for
big
rowers
breaths they're
also.
taking, that's pretty normal right now, right? So, I mean, are you holding your
I mean,
breath
look,
during the
okay,
push?
fair
don't-
enough.
You don't need to.
Breathing up.
Yeah,
It would be
it's
more
a
like
little
the
bit of a-
marathon
Oxygen
row
coming
event at the
in and
CrossFit
out
Games,
of your
where
body.
it might
So
actually matter, but
It's
you don't
cer-
need
yeah,
to.
You will
it's
feel
a
those
little
concrete legs full of
eccentric
blood.
to
It's
wear
like
gloves
glove fit
for a
OCR. You
1K
might see
row.
it. Yeah.
Break, but also that break can be strategic for some runners because it shows maybe weakness or strength to take a
Exactly.
break or not.
Let's, okay.
And this is so great right now as we
So they're
watch
clearly editing the
Viola
run
coming
because we're not
back
watching this
to
in
the
real
run for the
time.
next
Like we just
one.
watched
I'm
that in
looking
real
up her
time, but the
device
running
board
were
currently
they're
once
cutting,
again,
correct?
our
Like they're
official heart rate tracker
because
and
this whole event's going to take an
position
hour,
is
and they're going to show us the men
96%
and the women in this
of her
hour
maximum
program,
heart rate.
correct?
That,
it's
yeah,
just
there's
gonna slow her
the way
down
that they're
a little
cutting
bit.
it. They're making
Well,
a 4+ minute
we're
run
gonna
into
have
like
to wait and
7
see.
seconds. And
Okay,
then
that's what I
go
thought.
back to the workout.
Right, but they're showing us the actual stations. They're showing us 100% of-
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're showing 100% of it.
Because in the women's history, you've had 2 people go under 27 minutes for the total
Sarah
workout
Colty
time,
coming in
so they're not
second
going to be able to
off
fit
the
that in.
sled
They'll probably
push right
abbreviate it a
now.
little bit.
I mean, we were expecting this out of the world record holder. She
And
is
like
one of
ski
the
yard, they
larger
didn't show
ladies
4
in the
minutes of
field.
them on the ski yard. It was
think
probably
we were
1
kind of
minute.
guessing that she would do
They'll
well.
So we got
highlight.
Lauren in third. We got Sam in last there. Sam's moving slow.
Yeah.
Why is Sam moving so slow, Arm and Hammer?
I think so. Her background before she got into CrossFit was triathlon,
Now,
so
this
she's
is
always
very
had like a
surprising
hell of
for
an
me.
engine in
We have
CrossFit,
Sam
and she's
Briggs
known
nearly
as the
a
engine
minute
in
behind
CrossFit.
Viola Oberlander,
But
coming
there's a
back to
big
that
difference
run. That
between
means that she has
being
a
an
very
engine
healthy
in
lead.
like a
First,
series of
fourth, a
events that are
minute. I mean,
each
that's
12
a
to
tough
15
gap
minutes
to
long or
make,
9 to
but
15 minutes
we still
long
have
and
some
doing that
heavy-
over and over again versus being an engine in like a 60 plus or 70 plus minute long like cardio fest. And I think she's really been working on getting a little bit stronger over the past like 10 years that she's been doing CrossFit. So her sort of like high end rev, really long run, long distances thing is not her strength anymore.
Yeah. I'm looking at this right here. By far the best at the sled pull is Sarah Colty. She's had one time that she did in under 3 minutes. Lauren, she did in 7.5, 8:49, and 5:12. So if if you see Lauren do it very similar time as Sarah, or even way faster than her 5-minute fastest,
So
that'll
this-
explain why the carpet's a little different.
This is Sarah in the lead, right?
Viola, I believe.
And there we are, Lauren Weeks, second off the runner.
I still don't understand. I assumed they shipped this to America, so you think the carpet is what got shipped too, but it's different. There's clearly a different truck full of stuff in America.
they've had it in Dallas and Miami, 2 really humid areas, so that might have affected the conditions.
As well, she will be very used to this kind of workout. So is Sam, that we are seeing right now.
Where did they do this?
Yeah, exactly. And Sam Briggs, once again,
Germany?
Somewhere in Germany.
Okay.
Oberlin, Germany.
This is her first Hyrox competition.
Hamburg, yes, Hamburg
Look
makes
at
sense.
that, Sarah Colte. Once again, these stronger elements, these elements that
What's her
require
background, Jack?
body
Sarah
to
Colte?
move,
Triathlon.
right? These heavy sleds.
How'd she get to be so strong?
So, and then, you know,
She's a tank, I don't know.
Here, so for some folks I saw in practice, they were
That's such a great
doing the
descriptor.
hand method.
Man, I wish somebody would call me a tank one day. That's
Armin,
sick.
you're a tank.
Oh, thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
Well, in that particular workout, what you want is to
Start
use
off
your
2021 right.
gravity to take over the momentum of the sleigh. So
I-
you wanna
I
lean
gotta
and
say,
use that
I'm
gravity
not a
before you
huge
try to
fan
kind
of
take a bit
post-produced
load off
sports
your
content
hands,
like
off the
this.
body.
It's
So
one of the things
it's
that I
a little
didn't like
bit
about
visualize a
strongman, like how strongman has been
but
treated
to be still
for the longest time.
Absolutely.
Like post-producing
And
it takes away a lot of the
very easy. And
competitive
just like
excitement.
that, she is
But
back to the run
I see.
But if you
I,
don't know,
I
but if you
understand
don't know,
why.
but if you don't know the results, then it does.
You see,
Yeah,
you see
but-
the percents in the background real quick, Armin?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but
No,
they're,
that's fine.
They're riding up at 94% plus.
Yeah, they're in the
heart rate.
90s. It's not good.
You don't want to do that until the last 20 minutes of the race, and even then, that's a tough
So,
one to hold.
Armin, if strongman comes on and I don't know that Mengus and won again, and I'm enjoying watching these talk about tanks work out and do their thing, should I sit there and wait for them to like do all the shit they do in between? What are we missing?
Well, for strongman, the post-produced shows give you like a really good idea of just about everything that happens, and it also gives you a good overview of like where the most entertaining things occur. Like there's the circus sideshow thing in strongman, so I completely understand that, but like even that viewing experience isn't as fun as watching it live. In a competition like this is like, honestly, it's just kind of like a jumbled mess. It's really difficult to follow it in a post-produced way. Like, you don't, how long have they been, do you know how long they've been going? Do you know which event of 8 they're on? Like, if you're not intimately familiar
Right,
with
that
who
should
these
be
athletes are and
popping
everything that's
up,
going
right?
on,
That should be popping up, like 4th of 8 event, and then like quick leaderboards on the right.
yeah,
Like
they should have like a little like Mario Kart circuit in the corner and like their faces running across the circuit to show you like how far.
Now we're getting crazy. Now we're getting crazy with the Mario Kart, okay? But I do think you're right. We are missing. Now, if we were listening, Erock and Flo there are probably telling us that, but I do believe that, if you're watching this,
Did you guys see Sam Briggs moved into 3rd and Lauren's dead last?
Lauren Weeks is dead last?
Yeah,
Come on, Lauren Weeks.
I don't want to
I'm not
interrupt
supposed to
your
have
Mario
favorites.
discussion, but I
Well,
saw
I want you
that.
guys to know that I want you guys to know that I had to drive to get coffee, and I had to buy 2 coffees so that I would have another one ready for this broadcast because I knew I would run out.
For some stats for us.
Oh, let's go. Here we go. Let's get some stats. Let's listen.
First one, obviously, to the run here. Sarah Colte only 26 seconds behind Viola Oberlander, Sam Briggs a minute 8, and Lauren Weeks a minute 30. That's a full 90 seconds ahead as Viola right here begins the burpee broad jumps. Talk me through this.
And this is the first body
So,
weight
like,
workout that we're seeing.
looking at this,
Hang on. Erock just said 90 seconds is a minute and a half. Hang on. Yeah, that's what I got too. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, watching this right now, it looks pretty. It's like telling the story a little bit, and obviously we're not hearing what their commentary is, so maybe they're explaining a lot of stuff, but like visually I think it would just be way more interesting if like all that heart rate data should be like in the little corner, it should be that exact same field of all the squares with their names.
Two comments just popped up really quickly. I'm sorry. One is Ricky saying full screen, which you just did. The second one is from Jackson Davis saying dad. So I have to say, hey Jackson. Okay, please
You
proceed.
should just say son. Just
I hope he's still watching. You probably
I'm just providing some commentary on how they can improve their product.
Yeah. So Viola, it looks like they're almost tied. Viola and Sarah. Sarah traditionally had been about 15 seconds behind Viola. Viola only did 1, but most of Sarah's marks were consistently about 15 seconds faster than Viola on the burpee broad jumps, and I think that Viola had like a 16-second lead heading into this, so it makes sense that she closed the gap. And Lauren's really good at burpee broad jumps, so I think she might be passing Sam at this point. I don't know how Sam did on the run, but Lauren might be back into third. So that was like 34 and a half minutes.
Yeah, their body, as you saw right there on the screen,
34 and a half minutes getting off of the burpees.
Right?
Like, how does that compare?
And
So just to give you a comparison, Sarah Colte during her world record, she was at 29:14 finishing the burpee. Granted, she's in a little bit in the run, but Lauren was over a minute faster in Dallas at her fastest time at that point. So
here we go. Hey, hey, look, guys, stats.
There we go.
So she's actually closing the gap on Viola, but this woman is just so surprising.
Wait, there's a run after a run? Oh, no, she's going to row.
rower.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused for a second. I was like, why is she running?
Now, Armin, pretend that you have like a little smaller than a football field. What they normally have is these big blow up tents that say like a big 5. So now you enter zone 5, you finish it, you run your 1,000, you enter, now it's like zone 6. And they have these TVs and monitors around on each side of the track telling you have 2 more laps left, you have 1 lap left, and you can see it as you're running by. It's very clear.
It sounds cool. Like the layout sounds really cool. Like to me, what would make it really interesting is seeing it as like a race, like start to finish, seeing it as a race. You know, I'm sure they're able to do that when they have much
Armin,
more space.
I know you live in Austin. There's a Dallas event. How many hours does that drive for you? Like 6?
No, it's like 3.5.
Dude, I'll meet you there, bro. Let's go watch it.
All right, let's do it.
They're going to bring out some big cash prizes. They're going to announce that on here later. They're going to bring out. There's usually a $3,000 payout.
Hey, look right there. It's in Dallas. Yeah.
Hyrox Dallas, February 20th.
Yeah,
man.
That's where Hunter set the record last year for the second time, I guess, because he did Miami. He didn't set it in Miami, but he set it in Dallas.
Yeah, they could be showing us some rowing progress here. I don't need Mario, but I would like a little bar. That would have been cool to get.
At least I would like a zoom in on the monitor to see what 500 pace they're holding. It's like, are they going?
Right, they did that. They did that during the games. Remember that, Jack? They did that during the games.
Yeah, I love rowing. I love looking at that stuff. And that I saw Assault Fitness on the back of it, so you're correct, Armin, with the brand.
But you know they're actually changing the name of that. You heard that, right?
Yeah, Be Nice to People Fitness again.
Be Nice to People Fitness.
You're going to use that joke for the 11th time? Okay.
Did you know that, Armin?
I can't even imagine how not funny that was the first time.
It was
off of how
terrible.
Not funny it was this time.
Well, people got a lot of flack for assault bikes, and so they changed the name. They're now Be Nice to People bikes.
Matt, just drop it.
God, you did it twice in like 30 seconds.
I love bad puns. That's just trash.
Who's gonna stop at the Red Bull booth there? By the way, swing by, grab a Red Bull.
Get a quick pick me up.
Hop in the Red Bull truck right there on the side. Finish your 1,000 meters a little quicker. Okay, so it looks like Sam is consistently in last place.
Technically 4th. You know, she did show up to compete, and one person DNF'd. So
look at this Lauren. She's only 30 seconds behind, so she made up a big gap after the sled push or sled pull. So let's see if what's next is the farmer's carry. Viola is by far the best at the farmer's carry. Lauren actually struggles at it, and Sarah's slightly slower than Viola, but I think that Lauren's going to drop a little bit based on her 3 times in it.
how many lengths is it? It's 4. It's an out back.
200 meters. I don't know the distance of this. It's probably 4 out and back, so 4 per direction.
Okay.
They should show this unbroken because it's only a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
All right, let's turn this up a little bit. Let's see what they say.
Chest up position, Viola a little bit more shrugged over. What's the difference here?
Well, again, body height is a massive difference in that one. Maybe Viola is just
Sarah,
a little bit just
Lauren's in second place.
into the lungs. This is a resting position maybe. And remember, they have 2 times 24 kilogram to hold. So it is.
So Sarah went from the lead to 3rd?
No, Sarah was 19 seconds back before.
This heavy stuff suits Sarah very
But she's moving really well.
Imagine that she's any
Wow,
gap
Sam
that
looked
she
like a
did
tiny
before
person right next to her in
on
that
run, she's gonna make it
viewpoint,
back
I guess, that they
right here.
put.
I will say Lauren is looking tough. Viola is, I mean, well out in front, but man, Lauren is closing that gap.
Now, when they show the stats later, we'll be able to check out all the splits, right, Jack?
I'll break them down to compare like how they've done in the past.
No, but I'm saying they'll put them up. We assume Hyrox will when this is over.
They,
They'll be like,
they put their 2019 stuff. Yeah.
so we'll be able to tell who did, like, where she lost all of her time and where Lauren gained time, etc.
Correct. Yep. So Viola is in the lead. I don't know. What if Lauren got back and needed that treadmill? That was kind of a dumb decision right there.
What does that tell you about where they're at?
What'd she do?
Oh, the judge went over and stood on the treadmill next to her to look.
I think she was making sure it was started.
Yeah. But see, Lauren dropped him. I told you she had the worst heavy carry so far. So, and now she has to drop him again. So I'm not surprised at all with this. And unfortunately for Lauren, she's also the worst at sandbag lunges.
My understanding, Armin, I know you're feeling less than because Jack is so good at this. Explain to me why you wouldn't want to drop them, why it's better to just keep carrying them the whole time.
Got a really great race going on between Lauren Weeks and Sarah Colty right now. So
Perfect.
Well, Matt B. Davis, let me go ahead and break it down from a physics perspective. If you're spending less time doing the work, you're going to finish it faster. And in a race, the lower time is going to be the one that wins.
Back to you.
Back to you.
Now, if I'm the sarcastic person that doesn't really know anything, okay, if that's my role, what are you doing here, Armin? Come on, man.
No, man, you texted me this morning. I'm just here to have a good time.
I just love talking to you, buddy. I love talking to you, buddy.
I will tell you this. There isn't a necessarily like, yes, if you're going one straight distance, 200 meters or whatever, you'd probably be better off not dropping anything. But with the farmer's walk, it's not very much distance. Obviously, you're like, don't want to put it down, take 5 steps, turn around, take 5 more steps. And the most efficient way of avoiding those extra steps is by continuing to hold on to it and turning and doing a little pirouette. But like, if you can drop, turn, and pick back up, like, it's not necessarily less efficient. It's just what happens when you drop it is you don't pick it back up. You spend way too much time, not holding on to the implement.
So Armin, as someone with a CrossFit background, let's say you're at this point in the race, sandbag lunges are the second to last station. You have 100 meters of them. You know that you have one last time on the runner, and one last time, and all that you have to do is 100 wall balls after that. What are you thinking in terms of pacing at this point? Are you just trying to get done with these as quickly as possible, or do you want to save something for the wall balls to try to go as unbroken as possible?
I think the common refrain in like the CrossFit space is like, on a machine, you can never win the race, but you can always lose it. And so what I would say is you're better off trying to push your performance on the lunges versus on
Oh, you see that?
last run.
She's hurting. She is hurting.
So like I would say your best bet, like in terms of strategy, depending on obviously what you have in the tank, is like try and push through the lunges as quickly as possible, recover a little bit with your pace on that final run, and then try and push through the wall ball as fast as possible.
Yeah, because realistically, if you had like a 1,000-meter row, what's the difference between a 320 and a 315? Like that 5-second extra energy is not going to save you during a movement that will take you 4 minutes where people might break.
And it will crush you. Exactly. Yes. And going that much faster, it's like not going to give you a lot, but it's going to end your life and you're not going to be able to do anything afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Totally agree. That's why we brought him on, Matt. That was good insight.
That's what I do. What I'm curious to see is how people break up the wall ball. Like what happens when you get into the last little bit of the 100 wall ball? It's like, are they doing sets of 25?
I typically go unbroken with those just because I want to get them over with.
Is
Matt,
someone
you can't
going
even do 15
unbroken?
squats in a row. Never mind 100 wall balls, but yeah.
Is it the traditional CrossFit weights of 20 pounds for the men to
20,
10 foot
14.
target? Okay, and then is it 14 to 9 foot target on the women's side?
Yep. 10 and 9.
Did Lauren just get on the bike like a second after? She's catching
or
up.
on the run.
She is catching up. Look at that.
So let me tell you, Lauren's probably going to win this.
Why?
She did 100 wall balls. Her 3 results: 344, 342, and 312. That's all. That 312 had to have been close to unbroken because that is fast.
Yeah,
And
That's very fast.
Yeah, and Sarah, who like the girl on the far left, Viola's to her right. Viola, she did him in 5:04. Sarah ended up, her fastest is 4:14, and she's typically around 4:30 to 4:40. So Lauren has a minute plus edge. I would be willing to bet Lauren Weeks is going to win this.
Yeah, that sounds like the type of difference that you're not going to make up. Like she would need a minute or 90-second head start on the wall ball to ensure that she could finish it.
Sam Briggs is only 50 seconds out. She could bump up. I don't think she's not going to pass. Lauren would be. I would bet actual money on her at this point in the race winning it, just based on her wall ball ability, and she was closing the gap on the run. She might even get off the runner first because Viola had the shaky legs on the lunges. She might not have as much power heading into it, but I would be willing to bet Lauren's going to win this.
Wall ball's also an efficiency thing. Like it helps.
Oh, there she goes. She's off first. Here we go.
It helps more to be efficient with the wall ball.
Yep. Let's listen to the commentary on this. I'm curious what they say about her.
This is what competition is all about. This is head-to-head. This is Hyrox. And Viola, oh my goodness, has just now jumped off the runner. She is back over to the wall balls. It is literally going to be a fight to the finish. Perhaps maybe even a photo finish as we go through this. Now, a couple points as we watch this unfold. We have these two ladies going head-to-head. The judges in front of them are keeping tabs on the reps, so we'll be able to watch and see which, how close or how far the gap is away.
Ooh,
right here,
look at that high-tech business going on
there.
there.
Oh my
they couldn't afford the subtitles. They had to give them an
really
iPad.
Come down to who breaks first.
Exactly. And now let's remember they have to.
They should just keep the camera there for the rest of the time.
Oh yeah.
Just like let us know like the rep counts there.
Yeah,
she was what, seven reps ahead?
Yeah. Sarah's approximately 30 seconds better than Viola in Viola's one time doing wall balls. So I think she got there a little. Oh yeah, if she'd get in there around 50.
59 to 53.
Oh, that was almost a no rep.
They have not broken once.
They do no rep people.
I know. I've seen you get no reps, my friend.
Yeah, I got 9.
Oh, you get no rep, motherfucker.
This could be the point at which Viola
I'm glad they do that.
the lead once again.
Be accountable.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen at home, I cannot tell you how
it's like she's barely hitting that thing.
We are over.
Look at the percent heart rate.
Wow, 97.
That's pain.
Everyone is maxing out.
90.
Oh my god.
Sam's at 90. Sarah's at 97. I can't see the other two.
I think the girl that fell off right after the first assault bike should try again. She's probably fresh. She should get into it.
She might have some work to do to catch up.
Yeah, let's do a nauseating camera angle. That was good.
Yeah,
let's pretend we're on a boat.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, told you.
She's going to take it. Lauren Weeks, ladies and gentlemen.
And she has about a 20 gap right there. That's 45 seconds or so for these people, and that's about the difference.
Wow.
How much money did she just win?
America. USA.
10,000 maybe? 5,000? Like, it's a good amount.
Not bad, dude.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
She might be the highest earning OCR athlete.
I was going to say, she came in, she just came in second in the Spartan Games.
Third.
Sorry, third in the Spartan Games.
How did you confuse her?
Here we go, Viola.
Should have known that.
A couple reps left. She's looking towards the finish line. She wants this competition to be done.
Viola's second.
99, 100 repetitions for.
So Sarah was in the lead for a good bit, and then she just.
No, it was Viola most of the race.
Her gas tank.
Lauren Weeks, ladies and gentlemen, send her some DMs, everybody. Lauren Weeks on Instagram. Lauren_OCR Weeks, maybe you'll find her. Send her
just to give perspective with like how good, like Lauren was literally keeping up with Lindsay Webster and Nicole Miracle on a 6-hour trail run. Just Armin, you don't know them necessarily. They're probably the two best female racers of all time in Spartan, and she was just like casually keeping up with them on a trail run.
I've seen the first 3 episodes of the Spartan Games thing. Was she the one that was like, oh yeah, like I kind of run sometimes, but yeah, I'm just gonna see what my body says.
Basically, yeah. She's like, I just go out and run when I leave my house, and so yeah, she's a freak, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and she went head to head with Sam Briggs in the Decafit stuff, and did Sam get 4th right there? Yeah,
badass. Did Sam do those wall ball unbroken?
We'll find out when they give the numbers, but
All right,
let's hear the interview.
I could kind of ease up, but turns out I was last for the majority of the race, so I just had to push the runner, but at a comfortable pace where I knew I could go into the next exercise and be okay.
Now, our wild card, Sam Briggs. Let's go down and see how she feels about the results.
So I had to stick to my own game plan and then just try and push as hard as I could on the workouts. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too much on the run, and I couldn't catch them, but still gave it everything I had, and then the crowd was all cheering for the wall ball, so I had to go unbroken at the end.
Nice.
Just an incredible performance
All
by
right,
all these ladies today at the World Championships of Fitness
How about the
here
actual time?
in Hamburg, Germany. Now, as we look at the stats, Lauren Weeks taking the crown today, but Viola only
I wanna hear the
36
money.
seconds behind. Sarah, 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Anybody in the comments
falling
know the
back
money?
just a
Pop
little
it in
bit
real quick.
behind,
I'll look it up.
Pull it
is
up.
Sam Briggs at 1:20, but incredible performances. And here is your champion, Lauren Weeks, taking the podium. All right. Yeah, to Las Vegas, Nevada. There it is. Big hugs from Lauren and Sam. Remember, this is somebody who looked up to Sam Briggs. She's been idolizing her for years as the world champion. Sarah Colte, obviously good smiles. Viola, I mean, I would love to know what's on her mind right now as she sits there in second place amongst such talent. And there it is, the crowning jewel of the first place. We've got the
More
big
checks.
bottle of Voschsteiner, our partner at the Hyrox World Championships of Fitness. And there is Lauren Weeks standing atop amongst
Tell us how much she
incredible
won, damn it.
athletes. And
It
that
says
is your
5,000
elite
prize
winner.
money. What they've done at actual events was 3,000.
Okay, so here's the real one. Here's an actual one, Armin.
I see.
It's an electric atmosphere. It really is.
It's pretty cool. I'm surprised, Armin, you haven't watched my amazing 10,000 spectators. Really? I don't know where that would be, but
I don't
Armin, you
remember
should watch
that.
my amazing video that I made from my my Chicago attempt at this. I'll send you the link.
I'd love to see
You
it.
can watch me struggle big time.
Mappy Davis, I hear you went for a real long run a couple days ago. Is that
I did
true?
go for a long run. Can you believe that Jack, who's supposed to be my friend, right? I did this thing.
Yeah.
It's called a fastest known time, right? All by myself, ran this whole stupid thing, had to find food, ended up eating at a fucking Wendy's one time, had to go across a highway to find it. Jack's like, God, you're so slow. Like, what a dick, right? This guy's supposed to be my friend.
Yeah, because you
I'm
trash me all the time.
I'm twice his age, for Christ's sake.
Were you
You're
actually slow, though?
62?
What's that?
Were you actually slow though?
I think I kept a pretty good pace for
Or you
64
did
miles.
you just take it personally because he spoke truth, or what?
No, I was bashing him because he wanted free labor from me for running his numbers.
I'm a mean person.
What is fastest known time? Like, did you set a record on some course or something?
So once upon a time, it was this just sort of little thing that kind of only extreme ultra runners kind of messed with for some of the biggest things in the world. Like, oh, who's got the FKT for running across the Grand Canyon, right? Or the one that most people know is like the Appalachian Trail, which takes like weeks and weeks. But then it started in the pandemic. We'll quickly do this before the men start. In the pandemic, everybody was going after FKTs all over the place because there was no races. So, just they're usually, in the mountains somewhere, and it's like some fucking massive thing. Like, Nicole Miracle just did how long was Nicole's? Like a 30-mile thing in
No,
Hawaii.
it was 19.
There's only 19 miles.
I was there last year. It's an awesome area, but it's a ton of bushwhacking and everything. But yeah.
Anyway, so no one had done this thing self-supported. They'd done it like you could do it with pacers and people meeting you, or you can just do it by yourself. And I stupidly did it by myself, and I did it. I'm very happy. More to come later.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. But now we're gonna watch the men. We'll talk about my exciting FKT later. Hunter McIntyre.
57:34.
And I'm telling, that would have been like 55 something if he had the carpet that they use in Germany.
Oh my God, that's
Jack,
so
Jack, I heard you were a carpet muncher. Is that true?
I heard you. Yeah. Okay, Matt. Hold on. Let me just find it. Okay. So predictions before this starts. Adam Klink, they just showed him right there. He's had like 7 top 250 in the world 300 finishes in CrossFit Open. It's like a 6-time regionals athlete. He got second in the games in 2019 on a team. Clearly legit as an athlete, and these movements are going to be right in his wheelhouse. I'm just not sure. He ran a 5-minute mile. That's very impressive. I just don't know if that's going to translate to 5 miles, especially on a curve.
Let's just assume Hunter wins. Okay,
He's gotta. There's no doubt.
So who's second to third? I mean, I don't mean to be a big jerk, but come on, guys. This is pretty much Hunter's thing.
So you
who's
want to
second
know
to
something really surprising? I took out
this guy won the virtual one, Luke Storath. He just won the virtual.
That guy's a machine.
Also,
but
yes.
I looked at the ranked order of like you take out all the transitions, so it's just your run plus workout time. Hunter actually has the first, 6th, and 7th fastest. Lucas has 3 times in between. He has the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th fastest. And then Tobias Loutwain, they showed him before. He has a time that's faster than 2 of Hunter's as well. So my guess is it's going to be Hunter, Lucas, and then Tobias for the top 3. I think Adam will do really well. Unfortunately, that guy who won the virtual cross, that's Tobias with the yellow headbands. But the guy who won the virtual championship, I don't know how good of a runner he is, Marcus Friesen. He's clearly really good at those movements, but none of those virtual competitions had running. So I'm not confident enough to put him.
Tobias, I think, thought he was going to play some 2-on-2 basketball. Rocking that yellow headband.
Hunter, of course, being the American without a shirt.
Absolutely. As it should
Look
be.
at Hunter. Look at that. Look at the eye of the tiger to that guy. Come on.
Yeah, you walk in there, you're not going to beat Hunter in this event.
He's built for this.
He lost by 1 rep against a tandem of Jacob Hepner and Chandler Smith. Like they could trade off when they got tired on wall balls. They could trade off on lunges and the sled push and pull. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So Hunter actually is about the same level runner as Lucas. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the two of them get off around the same time. Where Hunter, it's insane. So Hunter, if you look at his all-time marks, 1st, 2nd, and 9th, but he is just the second half of the race. He is the best at basically every single movement: burpee broad jump, rowing, farmer's carry, sandbag lunges, and almost the best at wall ball. Like we all know he's going to win, but if anybody's close to him at the halfway point, it's not going to end up like that.
Who's the guy directly to his left? I feel like he started off very fast.
It might be Tobias and this guy, Tim Schroeder. Both of them started, one of them ran a 246,000 meters. That's like 402 mile pace for
this dude is either going to be last or second to last. That's my guess.
That's Lucas, who thought maybe he thinks his only
really
shot. Yeah. Maybe he thinks the only chance of beating Hunter is to try to get ahead of him. So he's doing this.
Yeah, this is a very bad strategy.
Yeah, when we went out, because I raced in Miami with Hunter and Lucas got flown out there. Lucas ran the first 1,000 in 3:09. Hunter did it in 3:23. I was with Hunter, Ryan Kent, a few other people. We all were just like, "Go ahead, buddy!" Like, and then Hunter ended up beating him by like 3 or 4 minutes. He's really good at the ski erg also, but I think that he's one of those people who loves being chased, and that's kind of his strategy.
I don't want to be too blue here, guys, but when they just showed that angle, I think that's like if you're having sex with Hunter, that's what you get to see. That was
angle?
that GoPro shot right up Hunter's chest. There was like, ooh, this is like making love to
140.
Hunter.
That's moving. When you have an hour left in the race, or 50 something minutes left, that's a solid pace right there. Matt, do you remember your 1,000 meter time?
You could tell me what it was.
I
literally never touched one of those machines before. I was like, tell me what I do now. Oh, there. Oh, yeah, give it to me, Hunter. Oh, yeah, here we go.
The most screenshot view of entire Hyrox, yeah.
I literally had never touched one. I was like, show me what to do. And the lady goes, pull that thing down. And I go, okay.
Did you do alternating?
No, I did not do alternating.
Okay, Lucas, I'm not surprised that he's still leading.
The pace high. I know that there was.
But you're
What's
not
his last name?
Storvath. But you're not going to beat Hunter in an hour event.
Lucas is really good. Like I think he's going to get second. But when we do have proof that they went head to head, and Lucas went in Miami. Yeah, Hunter ended up beating him by like 3+ minutes.
Did Lucas do OCR stalls?
No, he didn't. He would have done well. And that's Tobias in third with the yellow headband. He's like a 31-something minute 10K runner. Really good cyclist. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
So is Klink in last?
He might have been fourth.
Oh no, fourth.
Clink will do well. He's gonna tear up the second half of the race. Like you have a 500
just because he's
squat.
strong.
That helps a ton in wall balls and lunges, like just all lower hip drive type stuff. That's going to be a really big benefit for him compared to the smaller guys next to him.
Ricky says 140 on the ski is way too fast. Do you agree?
That is way too fast. But yeah, because Hunter went 331, 330, 344. So he was pulling about 145 historically.
But there's a huge difference between 140 and 145.
It's just like my
Huge
rowing
difference.
example before, where it's like, is that 5 seconds worth it? You have to run right after, and you might lose that right away.
Yeah, it's a total of maybe 10 seconds faster across the entire that 1K, but it's like 15% more output than you would if you were 10 seconds slower. So it really, you pay a price.
Think of the remaining events: burpee, broad jumps, push motion. You have wall balls. That's a push motion. Like you don't want to blow out your triceps that early into the race. Even this has a little bit. You don't want to all use your triceps, but like there is a component of it.
Armin, if you were going to do this event in February, do you think you would be prepared if you stayed fit during quarantine, during pandemic?
I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm in like this type of fitness. This is like a whole different world. Like doing an hour-long thing or a 70-minute long thing with like a bunch of different types of like body weight and relatively light movements is like not the type of fitness that I have right now.
But you would do it though, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Oh, look at how Hunter is trucking that thing.
Dude, he's sprinting across the
I want you
floor.
to interview him and ask him what the difference between this versus the U.S. carpet is. Like, he did not do that in the U.S. To give you comparison, Hunter, his sled push, he was like 240, 307 and stuff. Lucas has done it sub 2 or 201. Lucas has 4 marks under 202. Hunter has never gone 303 or 307. Like, there's no explanation why he should be that fast suddenly.
But that's not good for Hyrox.
Look at that. Come on.
But I'm saying, Jack, that's not a good look for Hyrox. That when they're on different continents, it's a completely different event.
I gave you the note. Look at him. He's just blowing by it like the thing has marshmallows loaded on it.
Yeah, there he goes. He's going to pass
orange
him.
shoe guy. I hope it was worth it trying to murder yourself on that first run and ski, because
now you're dead.
It has not paid off.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is, but clearly the carpet is playing a role. And I guarantee you, so Lucas on his sled pull, he has some of the fastest in history. Hunter, he's normally right around 4 to 4.5 minutes. Lucas has been like 250, 244, 301, 305. So if for some reason Hunter's faster than Lucas, there's more proof that the carpet plays a role. And I know we talked to him, Matt, like they claim that they ship the exact same thing over there, but there has to be some difference in like the material or like
maybe it's the floor underneath it. If the floor underneath it is like a different material and it like sticks better, then it gives you less friction up top because it doesn't slide underneath. Like what you're pushing doesn't go underneath it. But like if the floor underneath it is like itself a little bit sticky or not sticky, it like, they push it and it kind of like bows up as they're pushing across it because it's like the carpet's sliding as well. Maybe.
It could be similar to the CrossFit Games also, where if you're in the sunny part or the shade on a sled event, that your results are completely dictated by that.
Yeah.
Oh, does that Clink just
sucking wind right now?
Yeah, he's motoring also, but at the 3,
he's a super strong guy. But I think again, there's like you said, there's a big difference between like 500-pound squat plus 5-minute mile and being able to do this for an hour.
Yeah, you can, like I mentioned earlier, you can fake a 400, but you can't fake 1,000. And you have to be like, a lot of people have much better fast twitch and can kind of make their way through a mile just based on just pure power. They probably can't hold that same ability level to 2 mile or a 5 mile, never mind, like the longer it gets. So, and just like the 3 that I thought would be there, yellow headband, that's Tobias. He's a really strong runner and he's done really well across the board. in the early half. Actually, he's pretty good with farmer's carry and lunges, but wall ball is that's where he's going to fall apart a little bit, it looks like. But the three, Lucas, Hunter, and Tobias, I'm not surprised that they were the three with a commanding lead.
Both this and Spartan Games skews very much endurance.
You have to be a serious like strength athlete though to do some of it. That sled's heavier than you think.
For sure the sled's heavier. What I mean is like you need a brutal like world-class engine to be able to like actually hang in an event like this because of how long it is. So I think it's the combination is very rare, or at least right now it's rare to find someone who's like Hunter, for example, who's like 210 pounds and runs a 4.5 minute mile. Like that's very, very uncommon in terms of the mixture of capacities. Yeah. Even in the CrossFit space, it's incredibly uncommon.
Yeah, because people could do 100 wall balls unbroken, but can you do it 55 minutes and do after a bunch of other stuff? Like that's the difference maker where you need that endurance background.
Every male CrossFit Games athlete and most like high level games competitors can knock out 100 wall balls unbroken without even like having that big a problem with it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at this right now. Hunter has never done this before in Hyrox. Like this carpet is playing such a role. As I mentioned, he was 303, 356, 428 for his 3. And Lucas has 4 marks under like right around 3 flat or faster. So you'd think Lucas would beat him by a minute plus based on Hunter's historical performances of this, but that's not the case. Little slip up.
I have a question for you. Because there isn't any lifting, do you think it's possible that someone could quote unquote come out of nowhere for Hyrox, like somebody just who's at their house watching this right now, like at a gym, like could show up one of these events and podium where they couldn't do that at like Spartan or CrossFit?
I bet there are freaks out there. What's the guy from Germany, Wichtrup? He's a CrossFit Games athlete. You probably know him, Armin. He's done this, and he has roughly a top 15 time all time. Jacob Wichtrup, Jonathan, I forget the guy's name, but he's from Germany. And
but I'm saying like the national champion,
right? But I'm saying for like CrossFit, it takes you years and years to get to be at the top. And same thing, you can't just start Spartan racing tomorrow and be at the top. For something like this, because you could prepare for it more specifically, don't you think we could find somebody like, this guy, we never heard of him, and now he's podium at these things? Do you think that's possible, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, Viola did one race and she just got 3rd on the women's side, or 2nd. Like I think people will show up out of nowhere. Like Tobias, he's a bigger cyclist and he's done a couple of OCR events, but he's in 3rd place right now, crushing it. Like you don't. I think that if you have a really good endurance background and you're pretty good at strength, you're gonna have some people come out of the woodworks and definitely do really well. But yeah, I do agree that it's probably more likely. Spartan obstacles aren't as heavy or as difficult anymore. So I wouldn't really be too surprised if like a super good runner like a Joe Gray comes in and starts dominating Spartan. But at the same time, you have an endurance background CrossFit athlete. They're probably going to do really well at this.
He's done one more pull. He thought he had to do one more length, and now he's back in.
Right, 94%.
Yeah, but they don't though, Jack. That's the thing. Those people don't come to Spartan because they can't.
I think CrossFit athletes or people who would do well in this would look at this event and be like, I want to do that. I think really good runners look at Spartan and they're like, I don't want to do burpees. I don't want to get cut up. I don't want to go in the mud. I'm not strong enough. Like they find excuses not to do it. I think really good CrossFit endurance athletes, if they see a big prize purse, they'll be like, I would crush this. I'm going to work on my running. I'm a really good strength athlete and can, knock out.
If they're not already like in the top, like the top guys aren't, but like other people who are not as good, right?
I mean, obviously someone like a Matt Frazier or Tia would dominate this, but like they've had 3 events in the US so far. Everything else has been in Germany and stuff. If you give a little bit more exposure, you're going to see people show up. That's just my gut.
Do you think so, Armin? Do you think like not top 3, but maybe like some top 10ers of CrossFit, do you think would show up for this if there was decent money at it?
I think for sure. I think they would. I think you'll get people. I don't think you'll get podium athletes to show up unless you already guaranteed the payday for them, because it wouldn't really make sense for them to do something like this. but I think you'll get people in the top 10 or top 15 who are, phenomenally fit, but just maybe don't have exactly what it takes to win the CrossFit Games.
Give us a name or two, Armin. Throw us a couple names out.
Well, like the challenge is that no one at that level in CrossFit can just walk on and like beat Hunter, right? It would take quite a bit of training. Like it would take like a solid, like I'd say maybe 6 months of them doing a lot of like capacity work and cardio to bring their 10K time down, their 8K time down or whatever, and be able to keep a high power output for this type of event. Like they don't need to do any strength work, they don't need to do any lunges or wall ball, but they would need to certainly run a lot more often. So like, I don't know, on the women's side, I think Kristen Holte could probably be the best Hyrox female competitor of all time. Like, maybe even with very limited to no training, she could just walk on and crush.
Did she win Atlanta this year?
No, she didn't. That was Carrie Pierce.
Oh,
Kristen
okay,
Holte is Northern European. She didn't make it to the top 5 this year.
Okay, yeah. I got him confused.
But she's like a smaller. Yeah. She's like a smaller athlete, and she is an absolute workhorse. I think Katrin Davidsdottir would also do well at this because this is the exact type of event that she excels at, which is like these longer, grindy, put your head down and just do work type stuff. But she would definitely need to work on her running because she does not run fast enough to do that. On the men's side, I mean, we've already seen like Chandler Smith and Jacob Hepner try it. I think they're too big and they're too slow. They're incredibly fit, but they're too big and too slow.
So just to give you perspective, I'm a little under a 17-minute 5K guy, probably like 16:45. I ran Dallas and Chandler and Jacob were there. They were holding a very respectable pace, maybe like 15 seconds slower per mile than I was. But they can move really well. I was honestly very impressed with them.
Yeah, I would say this is probably closer to like Chandler's wheelhouse than it is Hepner's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Because of maybe the heavier sled.
Isn't Chandler even bulkier and therefore slower?
Yeah, he's a huge dude.
Chandler was ahead of Jacob on all the runs by they have to start at the same time, but Chandler would get ahead because he was just a better runner.
There we go. I didn't know that, and I was proven correct. I'll take it.
So our buddy Lucas, who started out like gangbusters, when they showed that last split, 2:55, a full almost 3 minutes behind Hunter. That's not good.
Hard to believe that happened. I mean, who could have guessed it?
But why would he do that?
It's the middle school tactics.
Yeah. Is this the middle school? I'm just going to run with no pacing whatsoever.
Yeah. What's pace? Yeah, I'm fast.
Oh, yeah. Ricky says, tell Armin to say Josh Bridges.
Yeah.
I don't think Josh Bridges would be good at this. I do not. I would not say that Josh Bridges is good at this type of thing. So he doesn't run fast enough. I think he'd have a good time with everything except for how much running was involved.
So just if you look at the overall workout time, Hunter.
Oh my God! Did he just crawl? Wait a minute! Did he just crawl? You can't do that! You can't do that! Look what he's doing! Look what he's doing!
Whoa!
Why are they allowing this?
Is that legal?
Of course not. He's crawling. That's an extra. How can you?
He gets an extra foot every time. Or half a foot.
Dude, and you know me, I'm not even Mr. fucking whatever, and I know you can't do that.
Man,
I got issues. Come on,
wait, that's Tobias's dead loud. What the heck happened?
He showed up for the fucking 2-on-2 tourney, man. White man can't jump. That's what he's ready for. He forgot.
Oh, he's taking a goo.
Oh,
he's taking a goo down.
He ran out of energy there.
Yeah. I wonder if it's by oh man, I have a big issue with the crawlies. Come on.
That was bad. Those heart rates are pretty high, but I was going to mention, if you add up the non-running and just add up the 8 workout stations, Hunter, his fastest was 23:58. He also did it the race before that.
Wait a minute, is Klink just starting the burpee broad jumps?
Oh, they had a huge lead. Yeah, those 3 guys. And Marcus with the white headband hasn't started either.
So they've essentially been lapped.
Yeah.
On the workout.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you think? Lucas was talking some shit there, wasn't he?
Hunter.
Remember beforehand, Lucas was talking shit?
Oh, wow.
You don't remember? Oh, there, I see a little crawly going on there.
Oh, Klink's hurting. So the guy in the white headband is not actually with them. He's got to start his burpees. I think that's Marcus, the guy who I wasn't sure of his running ability, even though he won the virtual contest.
Is Hunter at 76% capacity, so he's essentially just cruising?
Yeah, that's Klink.
Yeah. Hunter's bottom left, I believe, in the metrics. But I wouldn't believe that. They probably just put an arbitrary, oh, you're this old, here's your heart rate expected. Like, those things are always wrong. Unless they actually calibrated it. But real quick, I was going to say, Hunter has done 23:58, 23:59 for 2 of his 3 like total workout times on those 8 zones. Lucas is the only other person who's broken 25, and he did 24:56. So even best case scenario, Hunter is at least a minute better than these guys. How many people, Armin, do you think are within a minute or 2 of Hunter's running ability in the CrossFit community, but can beat him by 2 minutes in terms of like the 8 workouts? I just don't think it exists right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way of defining it. I think, you know, the people who would be able to compete against them, like I said, are going to need 6, 8, 9 months of running training in order to bring that up, because there just aren't runners like Hunter in CrossFit.
How did he catch up? Wait a minute. How did he catch up? How is he right next to Hunter now?
I told you, Lucas is a serious, like, he's going to be really close to him until the lunges, and that's when the wheels are going to fall off for him. And
Why?
The wall balls, it's not
Why?
even close.
Why is it going to fall off him at the lunges?
Lucas has run 8 events, and Hunter is just faster across the board in almost every single against Lucas in every single time. Lucas had one freak one where he went 239, but Hunter's usually in right around 3 flat. And then the rest, Lucas is 315, 322, 333. Like, he's slower.
Is this the 4th or 5th station?
This is number 6.
We're at 34
or 5.
minutes.
Sorry, rowing is 5.
We're at 34 minutes.
It's moving. Okay, I just saw a display, but it wasn't Hunter Lucas's. I just want to know what pace they're going. And Armin, just to add on to what we were talking about before with the 2-minute gap right there, like, can they beat him there? You see this transition time, it's way longer during the result or during the actual events. So you might actually need to have like a 3-minute or a 2.5, because that it's running. He's going to make a bigger distance on you there as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
I can't see someone. Hunter doesn't have that many flaws where he can get beaten by 2.5 minutes during these workout zones. It's not going to happen.
But again, he's had a bit of a trash talk with Adam, announcing that he is far ahead of him.
Yeah, Hunter is very well equipped for this. And this is something that works really, really well into his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same reason why I imagine he's not like, he's better at this right now than he is at Spartan stuff, at like OCR, because he enjoys being bigger and stronger, and OCR punishes you for being bigger and stronger. So like, this is perfect for him because he can still run, 90% as fast as he ever has run, but he weighs 20 pounds more and it moves weight like it's nothing. So
no doubt,
I think it works in his favor.
You don't want to go uphill and carry all that extra weight. So this is where he shines.
Yeah. If he wants to be a bulk pony, this is where he's going to have to show off that wonderful mane of his.
I really would love to see the top 10 CrossFitters try this.
Did Klink not even strap in? He just started pulling the thing. He didn't even strap his feet in.
It's only a 1K mat. Yeah, so he'll be fine.
As long as it's loosely around your foot, they're not going to come off. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Lucas, 24 seconds off. Honestly, that's pretty close. Like, I'll see how they were after 5 stations in Lucas's best versus Hunter's best. So Lucas, his best, he was 33:10 at that point. Hunter, he was 34:15. So Lucas has actually been better at various points in this, but Hunter really shines at the last 3 stations, including this.
Oh my God, just look at him cruising.
Yeah. Fun fact, I have the second fastest farmer's carry in the U.S. behind Hunter in all the events.
Congratulations, man.
I still didn't do well, but yeah, I'm good at farmer's carry, I guess. But Lucas actually he might pull a Lauren and drop it. He's had really slow farmer's carries. He'll lose probably like 20 seconds on this.
I had Jack doing them farmer's carries. What I had him do was I had him jump in the pool and then get out and do 27 burpees and then do some farmer's carries. Yancey camp training. That's what got you good.
Yancey lives in Austin. He should meet up with Armin sometime.
Oh, for sure.
Who?
Be a good time.
He's a coach for a bunch of people in OCR, and he's just like got so much energy and passion. But Hunter dropped it. I am surprised to see that. Might have just been sweaty because he went to the chalk.
Wow, look at that work. It's like looks like 8 trips. Is it 8 trips up and down?
Probably. I don't know the dimensions of the room, but it's 200 meters. So yeah, they need to do 8.
That's quite a distance to carry that weight.
Yeah. Blows up your shoulders. Oh, guess what? Now a station later, or I guess 2 stations later, you got wall balls. So it just punishes you, picks you apart.
Oh,
there we go.
My God.
Hey, that was in the preview.
I just looked down. What just happened?
Lucas dropped him. His legs are not going in a straight line.
They are not. They are not.
Yeah, he had no like grip left. They're like right in the fingertips.
Yeah. Fortunately for him, it's just lunges and wall balls left.
I can't even watch that. They should blur that like they do with football now when they break a leg. They should blur that, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look how much he's struggling here. Oh.
His traps are exploding through his shirt.
Go, buddy,
Get out of clink. Okay. So there we go. That's about 30 foot. Yeah. What happened?
I have no idea what's going on.
Whoa.
Did Mappy Davis just disconnect?
It's frozen on someone's foot. No. Okay. I'm watching it live. Come on, Matt. You're screwing it up for everybody. I'll update you. I have to load it.
Matt's battery was pretty low earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe his laptop died.
So I can't share my screen because Matt's the host. But Tobias just finished his. He's getting more food. So Tobias is killing the fueling game. That matters though in this because like 45 minutes. That's that point. Okay, Hunter leader, Lucas 34 seconds back. I said about 30. Tobias is 118 back, so he's crushing it. Marcus, who won the virtual competition, is on the rower, so he's not even done with the run that will lead into the farmer's carry, so he's out of the picture. Clink is still running. Hunter's jumping off. He's about to start lunges. And as I mentioned, Hunter is better at lunging than Lucas is by about 15, 20 seconds. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh,
you're the host now. Share your screen.
Yeah.
I think Matt's laptop died. If I had to guess, I'd say Matt's laptop died.
What an idiot. Share
screen. Are we even still broadcasting? If that's the case,
that's what I'm. Oh, it says live on YouTube. Okay, I'm the host now. Sweet. Share my screen. I'm gonna do this one. Okay. Let me know if you can see that. Hopefully it's visible. You see Hunter doing lunges?
I see it says Jack. Yep, we're back.
Okay.
I see it.
So we're doing that. I'm going to maximize the screen just to show it. So Hunter is doing lunges. I don't think Lucas got off the runner yet. Okay, you can see Adam Klink in the background. He's
still doing his farmer's carry.
Yep. Here goes Lucas. So Hunter probably has 30 to 35 meters of a lead. It's 100 meters of lunges. So if it takes Hunter about 3 minutes, he's got a minute up. He left it 34 seconds up. So he's put a little bit of a gap. But Lucas definitely is, he's not as strong at wall balls, but I think he's comfortably going to finish in second place at this point.
Yeah. It seems to be moving pretty okay on those lunges though.
I agree. Yeah. Especially after just watching that death, the really
death
crappy,
march of the farmer's walk. Yeah.
Oh, Matt just texted us that he'll be right back. I got another text by apparently Lucas is 40 years old. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Unless someone's trolling me, but Lucas just got the little wobbly legs. But
Old
that's the
man
thing.
strength.
It's like, imagine if you got to plop everyone during their prime years. And honestly, Hunter being 31, 32, like that's not actually your prime for stuff like this, but still, it would be really cool to see everybody in their best years doing this. Matt, you're back? Matt, where are
Matthew
you?
Davis.
You're missing some amazing hair, Matt. Come on. Matt, you there?
Yeah, hang on.
All right, I'm gonna do stop share, and I'll let you share again. Okay.
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 What happened, Matt?
Battery died.
Gotcha. Rookie mistake. I know
I'm
you've only got
never,
about
I'm
6,000
never,
podcasts.
I'm never not in my office. It doesn't matter. Where's the stupid thing? Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Hyrox World Championships.
Okay, so Hunter was at like 52.07 heading into his last run and the wall ball.
Did you guys say anything good while I was gone?
A lot
We
of
said
good
the
stuff.
best stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff.
Did anybody show nudes?
That was
It
all
was
it was.
all nudes.
Yeah. Hyrox even showed nudes. It was pretty crazy, Matt. But
Yeah, you're gonna want to go back and watch that part of
you
the
see
live stream.
did you see Lucas staring at Hunter's screen? Do you think that's pretty common in CrossFit games where people are like peeking at the displays? I think that it's
Absolutely.
like, oh, guy next to me is going 135. I'm gonna go
Hey, Jack, can you,
136.
pull it back up while I'm trying to fix it?
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
if
is
I'm not
absolutely
the host
very
anymore,
common.
so I can't. You have to make me the host, Matt. Okay, we got an update. Hunter is the leader. Lucas 28 seconds down. Tobias a minute 15 down.
Okay, go ahead.
So-
Go ahead.
So they were actually within about 4 seconds of each other in terms of the lunges and what it looked like, because Lucas was down by 24 heading into it.
That's pretty
Not
strong.
working, Matt? Okay, Hunter is going into the wall balls.
Here we go.
You guys seeing that?
Yeah, I see
Okay.
it.
I don't know if you can see that also. So Hunter going into the wall balls, he's done it 342, 334, 424. Lucas across the board is in like the 5 to 6 minute range. So I think that Hunter's going to end up winning this by like 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Is the stream
Slow-mo.
in slow motion, or is it like because of the screen sharing?
It looks, I have a feeling they wouldn't go slow-mo with this, but unless he just altered gravity or something.
Okay, I got it, Jack.
All right, I'm bailing. No, it's showing slow-mo.
I think I forgot sound. Damn it. God damn it.
It's okay. Who needs it?
Yeah.
I'll
But
tell
I can
you
hear,
what
I can
Hunter's
hear
interview
mine.
is.
I can hear mine.
Well, I'll do Hunter's interview, post-workout interview.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really easy for me to beat all these chumps because I'm better than them. But also, I love competing against the best in the world. And thank you so much to everybody for being such good hosts. Thanks, Hyrox. This is really great. Bulk Pony Power, Mullet Power 2020.
2021. Yeah.
2021.
Although he would have said that in 2020, so I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like Hunter had about a 30 rep lead. Matt, what's going on? Yeah. 96, 97. Yeah. Okay. So he's got about 40 reps. That's 1.5 minutes. Add on to the 30 seconds before. Wow. That's faster than he did Miami.
That's pretty good.
That's really impressive that he did that on the runner.
Yeah, that's
Because if it's 20 seconds or 20% roughly, like it might be 15, it might be 25, but if it's roughly 20%, that's 8 minutes. Like,
yeah, he definitely was putting in some work.
yeah, and look at these guys just dying, or at least on my screen.
Yeah. Oh, he had to
Okay.
take a break before his last rep.
He probably got no rep and saw the other guy's counter and was like, whatever. 62-40. So he won by about 2.5 minutes.
That's
Hunter
wild.
did. And you saw how close they were the first half. But just like I said, Hunter has the fastest or like a top 3 time in almost all of the final 5 events. So you're just not going to gain on him in something like that.
Yowza.
So 62-43 was. Oh, now you take off your shirt.
Nah.
I'm last.
No, he got 3rd.
Oh, he did. Good job.
Yeah, that was the guy I thought would get it. Tobias.
Do you think Wesley Snipes is ready to meet him now for the game?
He doesn't have that
You
like
keep-
painter's cap, so
You
he's
keep
got a
bringing
headband
on the same reference.
Yeah.
Because it's funny to me, and that's what's important.
Do you think Wesley Snipes is ready to meet him at the very friendly bike instead of the assault bike, Matt?
So that
And
was
you want to
just
add that in
stupid.
a 12th time?
It's not very friendly. You didn't even do it right.
I don't, because why should anybody with that? All right, let's see.
Whoa.
Wow. Whoa. Oh, barf. Those guys.
Clint got destroyed.
Oof. Man, Marcus, he won the virtual competition, had never actually done a real
Left
race.
his house
and he
before.
loses.
He'd never actually left his house before.
He's like literally homebody. All right, let's listen to the interview.
Can you hear it on mine?
No, I
Nope.
don't have any audio.
Okay. Well, I gotta stop and add the volume. Hang on.
They're gonna like give the checks up by then, and it'll be useless. But
Okay. But
There
now
we go.
it is Hunter McIntyre's turn to stand on top of that podium as the world champion of fitness, the world champion of Hyrox. It is smiles and high fives all around. All these men
How many championships
really,
is this
really
for
putting forth an
Hunter?
amazing effort today. But
7.
Hunter rising to the top. He flew across the world.
He'll tell you.
Saying he was going to win, and he accomplished his goal. Now, let's check in with the champ.
Matt, would you rather drink Red Bull or that seawater that they give you?
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Was it your intention
I wanna hear
to
what he
kinda
says.
keep up with him, or did you kind of
Oop. Oop.
No.
let him peter out?
No, I let him push. I let him push. I knew it was going to be too much. He always gets excited when we've raced before. He pushes really hard, and that's his talent, and you have to use it. So he used what he had. I used what I had, which was in the sleds and all the other skills, and I just held back, and I knew that I would break him eventually. And he may have won based on my strategy. He could have been stronger, but it was luck and strategy that ended up winning.
When did you know that you had this race?
I knew that I had the race after the sled pull. I just knew it was a matter of time until he started to pull back. But I beat him on a run for the first time after the kettlebells, and that meant a lot.
I saw you digging in on those kettlebells. Was that the tactic, just to go unbroken and just keep going?
Yeah, I wanted to go unbroken, but I broke once on the kettlebells. My tactic was to break him, and he ended up, it was just kind of a bluff. I knew that I was going to try to push, and he broke. And that's right there when I won it. So it was good strategy and timing, I guess.
Excellent. We didn't see any weaknesses throughout the whole race, but you did mention that you were starting to cramp. Where is the point where you thought, oh man, I better reduce the pace maybe?
After the farmer's carry, I just knew that I couldn't push any further. I just held exactly like a millimeter an hour faster than him. And I just stayed there. If I pushed any faster, these hamstrings were gonna go. So I was spitting all over the place. I knew I was gonna blow up soon.
Great. And what was your whole warm up? Because we heard you on the line just before your first kilometer speaking out, "Here we go, champ."
Yeah.
So what was going through your head at that time?
It's tough to compete against people that you really care about. These are all my friends. I had to remind myself that this is like a championship, and then I was the champion, and then I had to win. So like I just kind of started beating my chest, and I kind of got myself in that mindset. And at that point, you switch gears, and he becomes an enemy rather than a comrade. But he's still my friend.
Great. And
I can't believe people don't like
some
Hunter.
very good sportsmanship at the end.
How can you
hugs
not like
and,
that guy?
Fist bumps, and this is great to see. This is what sport is all about.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
really
Hunter's
what
great.
Hyrox is all about
Okay,
as well.
so there
really
you go.
enjoyed your.
Hunter wins. Congratulations.
Yep.
And Jack, you got the entire podium correct. That's pretty impressive.
I
Congratulations,
not on the
Hunter
women's side.
McIntyre.
They were shifted by one place.
We will see you guys at the next.
Unbelievable. You're fired, Jack Bauer.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like to see money. Are they going to show us some money?
I thought it was
Doesn't look like it.
3,000, 1250, 750.
But it's
'cause
an
they have-
important part of the program. You want to show that to people. Like, this is the payoff. This is what just happened. They won the race. Here's the payoff. You're telling a story. Come on now.
You are correct.
So Armin, now that you've seen an event, who do you think would do really well? I know that you mentioned Catherine Davis' daughter, Carrie Pierce. Like, who do you specifically think might actually have a chance of getting within striking distance of Hunter?
Oh man. I'm trying to think of like fast runners in the CrossFit space.
BKG maybe?
BKG is like he was a former soccer guy, so if he maybe loses a little bit of mass and gets a little bit faster, he could get there.
Fraser, I mean, he wins all the running events.
Yeah, Matt obviously is like the
He's
key.
not going to do this, but
he would never do it. I honestly don't think there's much that Hunter would beat Matt at in any sort of like head-to-head competition in terms of like fitness. Maybe a straight foot race.
Yeah.
You might be able to beat Matt, but anything that combines stuff, it's like Matt is gonna find a way to win.
Yeah.
I'm probably forgetting some people. I don't know. Off the top of my
Medeiros
head,
did really well in the trail run. That's not the same type of running, but it was still long enough to prove he's a fit runner.
He's a good runner, but it's hard to say whether he's a good runner in this type of an environment. You know what I mean? Like the trail run, the trail run is like very much grit more than it was anything else, really.
Yeah, that's where I think Hunter has the edge, where obstacle racing, you don't have to be like the fastest runner, but it's compromised running. It's like, we beat you up going over a wall. It's not, the wall isn't hard, but now it makes your shoulders a little tighter than it used to. And then you have to keep the same pace. And I think that just having close to a decade of experience in that, CrossFitters, they're used to being compromised in movements, but not necessarily in the running department. So I think that some of the best people would really have to dedicate themselves for a long time, like you mentioned, if they want to get on the same level. I think they can clearly beat him in terms of the work output, just not enough to offset Hunter's running ability.
Agreed. See, you didn't even need me here, Mappy Davis. Jack has this down easy.
Jack is the best.
Oh, I thought you were sleeping, Matt. You didn't even move. You were a statue for a little bit.
Jack is the best. That's why I brought him along. But I thought, I woke up now that we have a few moments here, now that the competition's over. Jack and I talked about, hey, let's do this show. Let's do a New Year's Day watch along. And I just woke up and I thought of my buddy Armin Hammer, and I thought maybe Armin will join us. So I just sent him a quick text, as I do. Armin, you can say, Josh thinks it's just him that like I wake up and go, hey, let's do this. I do it to you too. I do it to Jack. Jack has what I call a real job. So like Jack can't just get online, right?
Civil engineer. I've got a real job. Yeah.
Right. Josh has a straight job too, but he's just more likely to be able to be just like, yeah, fuck it, I can be available now. So Jack, I have to get advance permission from. Armin, like me, just living that entrepreneur life, right? Wake up,
That's right. I'm
drink some
rolling
coffee, fucking let's get on a fucking live chat.
I'm rolling in it.
Right.
Speaking of which, I should get back to rolling in money. My cash stack in the living room is starting to get cold and I need to go warm it up. So
before I let you go, Armin, did you buy a ring light?
No, I don't have a ring light. None of the lighting in my room is different.
What was different about that exciting footage I watched just yesterday?
I bought a new camera.
I knew it. That's what I said. Fuck you, Josh Chase. Josh is like, you got a ring light. I'm like, no, he did. It's a new camera.
No, I spent quite a bit more than what I would have spent on a ring light. I got a new camera and a new lens, and I'm very excited about it. That's what I was trying to get to do the live stream here, but I haven't gotten the settings right, and I didn't have enough time this morning to get it right.
So real quick, are you still using Slingshot to connect the two?
No, I have this is what I was
little tech
going to be using.
Little
it's called an Elgato Cam Link, and it basically allows you to, like, this goes USB into your laptop or computer, and then you use like HDMI to connect to your camera. Your camera becomes your webcam, so your laptop will recognize it as the camera and use it. But I like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to get the settings right on my camera.
Well, I can tell you that watching from my boudoir, I could definitely tell the difference on a screen. I don't know. Can you tell much definition on the iPhone?
It'll look different. The camera itself is significantly nicer, like significantly nicer, and so is the glass. Like the lens is very, very nice. It's the most money I've ever spent on any of my equipment, and it's like a little overkill in terms of how nice it is, but it's something that is going to push me in terms of my technical capabilities, like the edit and the color correction and the setup in the studio. All that I'm going to have to like level up in order to like match what the camera can do now. So that's really exciting for me.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks, man. I really do have to get going though.
Do you have to poop? Is that why? It looks like you have to poop.
No. My AirPods are going to die, and I told my wife I was going to be done at noon, and it is 12:30.
See you later, buddy. Jack,
Matt
can you
does
stay on
this.
for a minute?
Good meeting you, Armin. Yeah, I'll stick on.
Yeah. Later, guys. Take
All right.
care.
See ya.
Bye.
I went on their website. They don't have updated results. So
Well, they're not going to yet because they're going to give people
Yeah.
a chance to watch it.
they want people to watch for a few
Right.
days. Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe a day or two anyway. So it went how we thought it would with the Hunter.
Yep.
How impressed are we with Lauren Weeks, who before this year no one had heard of, right?
I stayed with her at TMX the night before. That was her first like ever type of race. And Yancey's like, this girl, watch out for her. And
Yeah.
I know you make fun of Yancey for being like, oh yeah, watch out for this part, just doing that thing. But
I make fun of you for doing that.
I
make fun of Yancey for calling everybody a cyborg. I make fun of you for
watch out for the cyborg. Jack told me about her. So yeah. Yeah. No, but seriously, I could tell. I was like, she has that running gift where she's not the strongest, but if there is something that involves strength and a lot of extra running, she's going to be a force. And, we saw that last year a little bit with some of the Hyrox performances, and then just 2020 Spartan Games proved her ability level. And then this right here, winning the world championship, like she's definitely a name that's going to be around for several more years.
If you have any questions, by the way, we're still on the chat. We're still live. If anybody
are
wants
we?
to ask
Okay.
Jack or Matt a question, I was trying to keep up, and I certainly couldn't. That is one thing Josh is definitely very good at. Josh is good at keeping up with the chat. I was trying to do all of it, and it wasn't slow motion for a second. Said somebody. Benton said you were the Ryan Atkins of stats.
I'll take it. Or am I the Lindsay?
Jack smoothly transitioning to play-by-play is the most impressive thing that's happened today. Wow.
Nice. Is that when your battery died because you were a rookie?
Has Matt said, look at the fitness yet? No, that phrase is reserved for one person and one person only.
Yeah. Where do you see the live? Live chat. Okay, because I only see top chat. I didn't have it filtered there. Gotcha.
What a rookie you are.
I figured it out in 2 seconds, Matt. Yeah.
So, Jack, have you had time to analyze my my mileage data yet for my?
I was doing it while I was doing the coverage. If you think that the transition was impressive, you should see the stats now. What would you say overall? Were you impressed? Well, Lauren clearly ran away. Were you a little surprised that Sam didn't do as well?
I mean, you saying that the first time everybody slips, how much time could she make? Well, first of all, let's put it in perspective. The time that she got, where is that all
Here,
time?
Can I share my screen again? I'll share my spreadsheet. That way, I have permission. I can do it.
Okay.
All right. So basically what I did to start this off was I looked at everyone's time.
This is what Jack's brain looks like, by the way.
Blue is good, red is bad. So just as a perspective. So we look at the running. Here's the total run time. You can see on this row right here, like Hunter, he ran an extra lap in Dallas, so that kind of gets ignored. But he's normally like 30 to somewhere in the low 30s. Lucas is very similar to him across the board. Tobias, I saw that he's a 31-minute 10K guy. He's obviously a great runner. That gets reflected here. Tim Schroeder, he sucks at no offense at a lot of the events. He's really bad relative to people in wall balls, sandbag lunges.
So why was he invited? Why was he invited?
Because he has the 10th fastest all time. 15. Oh wait, sorry. This is within the people, but yeah, because he had a 101.17 or 101.7 for one of his times, which is the 12th fastest. And the people who are faster than him, Hunter has a huge grouping of them. Lucas has a group. So he was probably the 4th or 5th fastest person, not individual time, but like person. And I think he's German, so they're like, well, you don't have to travel, so easy enough. But yeah, as you can see with a lot of these things, Lucas does really well early on, like the first half of it. But Hunter, his second half of the race with the blue, he's just so much ahead of people in terms of just like his times. So I could tell that they were going to be really close for the first half. And then wall balls, like Hunter, I mentioned, he's 342 and 334 for his two best. Like his first one, I'm going to throw out Miami because he was just getting practice, but he knows how to pace it based on these last two. And Lucas, his fastest 522, 615, that he's losing almost 2.5 minutes there to Hunter on the wall balls. Tobias, he's very similar and like right around 5 flat, low 5s for wall balls, which is pretty close to what Lucas was showing. So I knew they'd be close, at least in the first half, but then the second half was where Hunter was really going to pull away.
So is it because of skill set, or he just knows how to pace himself better than everybody?
It kind of what Armin was saying with engine. He just has a huge engine, and Hunter is really good at wall balls. He's really good at rowing. That Lucas and Hunter are very similar in terms of rowing, actually. And Tobias probably lost a little bit of time if we'll see the actual results later. But you can see that Hunter and Lucas are like in the mid 340s across the board, and Lucas is 413, 450. So that's probably where Lucas started falling behind significantly at that point. But yeah, if you look at the sled, which I mentioned, here are the fastest times, period, if you do run plus workout time. And Hunter has it and has the fastest, but Lucas, he has 3 of them that are ahead of Hunter. Tobias had one that was ahead of Hunter. Lucas is just behind Hunter by a couple seconds. So I knew they'd be really close in terms of like actual work output, but this is Hunter's event to lose. But it's a little skewed because of all that sled work. If you look at Tobias's sled push, 1:09. Are you kidding me? Like that thing must have been on jelly. Like you should not be able to do that. And Hunter, he's way bigger than Lucas, and he's got a 307, a 24. Like that's flawed. You have to throw that one out. So I was like, once they're on even turf, that's when these.
Are you sure that wasn't like a data glitch? Like,
yes.
Did you ask them?
Yes, because if you look at the results, I think that of the top like 50 results, 30 something of them were in the sled push were during that Leipzig or Essen, whatever event it was. Like everybody was PRing there. Even people who got 30.
Do you think the distance was wrong? Maybe they fucked up the distance.
I don't know, but something happened during that race, and it consistently happened. You could see it across the board. Lucas, he's got a 201 in the sled push, 221, 155, 201, 202. Hunter, he got a 212, 240, and 307. Hunter just skated by him today. So, like, once you actually have a comparison, Lucas, for instance, in Miami did a 323, Hunter did a 307. So Hunter head-to-head was 16 seconds faster on the sled push the one time they met up. He crushed him today again. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was where he put a ton of distance also, or, Hunter's time is going to improve a ton there. Sled pull, you've got a 428 during Hunter's best time ever, 356, 303. But if you look at Lucas, consistently, he's 244, 301, 305, 256. Like he's way faster at that. And it's because of the carpet thing. So what I did was, instead of looking at the actual ranked order, how would things have been if you get rid of the sled? And as you can see, Hunter, his performances are just, the best of the best. We're not surprised at that. But Tobias, he's the next best besides Lucas. So I figured that they would be really close at that point.
Hey, got a couple of comments here. One is shout out to civil engineers from Matt Punton.
Yeah. There are a lot. Taylor Turney is a civil engineer. John Yatsko is a civil engineer. There are a lot. Victor Quesada was studied it but didn't end up finishing it. There are actually a pretty solid amount of civil engineers up there.
Eric Botsford, aka Rock. Hey guys, thanks for watching. How good is Tobias?
Tobias is really good. I predicted him third, and based on how he's done in the past, he's the real deal.
Ricky A, does Hyrox Dallas take place in these uncertain times? I'm going to say yes.
I think so. Yeah. They pulled this off. They might have an abbreviated field, not have as many people, but that thing was spaced out enough where I don't think you're going to have as much next to each other.
Really? I don't think, but we don't want to do bikes. I mean, we don't want to do fucking treadmills, do we?
No, I don't think they'd be able to afford that and transport them. That's a huge amount of money.
All right, let's unshare your screen.
Oh, I was going to say, you want me to do the women real quick, just because I have that also.
Sure.
But okay,
Think you'll go
same
blind.
deal. If we look at the best of all time, like Lauren only had the 7th, 10th, and 12th. But if you get rid of the sled, she has the first and second best workout time. So I knew she was going to do really well. Viola, she only had one race, so I wasn't as confident in her. Clearly, she was pretty close up there. Rebecca didn't end up racing. So Viola and Sarah were only like 16 seconds apart at their best race. And so it makes sense that they were pretty similar to each other. But Lauren, I honestly probably should have gone with her for the win, assuming that the sleds would do well. But she didn't even do well in the sleds today, which is even more surprising. But
so I'm going to throw out something for you. All right, turn your stats off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you something, okay? What if, okay, throw this out, Shiv. Assuming they trained for it, assuming they were properly trained going to this event, if we take out the girl who didn't show up and the girl who DNF'd, and we replace them with Faye and Corinna, where would they have done in this competition?
I think Lauren still probably would have won.
Okay, where do you put Corinna and Faye?
It would have been a really tight 2-5. I think Faye probably would have had the edge because she's the best runner, and it was pretty clear that the best runners did the best on that curved treadmill. So I wouldn't have been surprised if Faye ended up getting second, or she probably would have been on the podium. We saw Lauren's running ability recently during the Spartan Games. She's not as good of a runner as Lindsay or Nicole, but she was keeping up with them on the trail run for most of it. And, she's a really good runner overall. Faye's a better runner than her, but I don't think that Faye would have put enough of a gap just based on how, Lauren was running during this event and during the other ones to create enough of a gap there where Lauren wouldn't have been able to make up on the workout stations, because Lauren's by far the best at the workouts. So I told you that Hunter ended up doing the workouts in like 23:58. Lauren, her best workout, she ended up doing it she was like in the 30s due to the sled. So I guess I can't compare it evenly, but yeah, I would have put Lauren first and then probably Faye second, and then a toss up for the remaining three.
Just by looks, it looks like Faye is a much smaller athlete than a Corinna or a Lauren. So would she have to quote unquote like bulk up and just hope not to lose that much speed in order to keep up with these women?
I believe Faye actually beat Lauren head to head
in Chicago.
It was either Chicago. I think it was Chicago or Miami. Whatever that first one was. Didn't Faye end up winning that one?
Faye won Chicago. I was there.
Faye, I was there also. I forget the exact order of finishes, but Faye definitely holds her own in this. Rebecca Hammond did really well.
But that's because they're so fast.
Yes. And in an event like this with a curved treadmill,
but let's talk normal.
Yeah.
But let's talk normal.
Yeah.
Now we're talking normal.
Yeah, let's go back to what would have happened if it was in Dallas, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of asking, is that we know that Faye and Rebecca, for example, are considerably faster, but wouldn't they have to like quote unquote bulk up to be able to compete with Lauren and Corinna, who just are stronger, right?
I don't think Corinna is fast enough she's obviously a machine on the workouts, but I don't think Faye is weak enough, but I just think that Lauren has that total package. She's not the Hunter of the women's field. She's not going to blow away by 3 minutes and you're guaranteed to place all your money on her on a bet. But I think that Lauren is the best at this. And I don't think that you'd see too many flip-flops with her, and Faye or any of the other serious contenders for the most of the time. But Lauren was losing most of this race. She wasn't in the lead until towards the end. But I do think that Lauren probably has the best frame and combination with running ability to, do the best in this event.
You know who I just thought of? Have we heard anything from Cassidy since being a mom? Does she want to come back and compete? Because couldn't she do well in this event?
I thought you interviewed her, or maybe someone else did, and she said she had no interest in, training at enough effort to be the best in the world in an event like this. I think she would do great. I remember Alex Nicholas, her husband, ended up racing in Miami. And I think he might have done another race also. He's really good at this stuff. He's not a great runner, but he's a machine on the workout zones. And Cassidy's obviously a pretty solid runner, and she's great at the functional fitness stuff. I think she if this was 2015, she would have been really high contender on that. But I don't think that she has the drive at this point, now being a mom and having business interests and stuff. I don't think that she's going to get back to being the elite amount of training that's required to do that.
Wouldn't you like to see it? Wouldn't you like to see a battle?
I think it would be great. You have like the, Team USA, you get your top 5, and then like your Team Europe, team whatever, just get your best representatives from each area. Team Canada, you could do that, and just see how people do. I think it would be a great competition. If you're listening, Hyrox, yeah.
How do you think overall? Armin said he had some issues with there was no Mario Kart. I didn't have many issues with the broadcast. What did you think?
Well, we didn't hear the broadcast, but I mean, we've heard Erock in the past. You've done commentary with him. He's really good behind the mic. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out really well. I'll probably watch it uninterrupted without like hearing us, just to kind of see how it did. But I'm confident that he held his own behind the microphone because he's good. I think that it's really easy. Just think every single sports game, you have a block, even where it says Matthew Davis and Jack Bauer, like in the bottom corner, you could have like current standings plus minus, however many seconds, like they do in the Tour de France or other, or even if it's a football game.
They did that. You're just saying they didn't do it enough.
It needed to constantly be displayed. Be like, have a ticking clock where we're 30 minutes in and Hunter has a 20-second lead at this point. Like, just keep that up there. They don't need to have it live. It can keep refreshing whenever they move on to a new cut screen.
Right, because it wasn't in real time anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's really easy to do. And they do that for sports games all the time. They have like the home team, away team. Here's your score. Here's how much time's left, how many timeouts are left. It's just a static image at the bottom of the screen. It's very easy to do, I imagine. But that would have been the improvement, just so you're not seeing the plus 0:17 like every 5 minutes. And then you're like, what happened? I know that so-and-so was a good runner, but I don't know where they're stacked up anymore. Or even like on that big screen that they had the heart rates, how about a countdown like, hey, they're 900 meters into their run, they're 800 meters, you have some stats there. But just a thought. I think it was good overall though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done.
Yep. Hopefully we get to see some more people do it. I think that they mentioned, I'm not positive, but I thought on an interview they mentioned Las Vegas for 2021 as their championship.
Oh, I thought they were going to announce the big payouts. Let's go to their IG really quickly. I thought, because I've known about it, but Hunter said we couldn't, what do you call it?
Announce it
until today. Eric, if you're still watching, Eric Botsford, why did somebody tag me in this post? Oh, it's Ultravirus. Way to go.
Oh, with Matt, he said that spreadsheet makes him dizzy, but it's not that bad. If you saw it and not on the shared screen, it's not as bad.
Well, the Functional Times just spoiled this. I was going to wait until after my New Year's Day nap to watch the results, so I can't believe they spoiled this already. Clearly, they're very selfish people.
Jerks. No, they still don't have the 2020 results on their website.
I'm going to text Botsford. What's payouts for Dallas? So, ladies and gentlemen, there's supposed to be big payouts for Dallas. They want to invite some big names. So I would expect to see Sam there. Obviously, you're going to see Hunter and Lauren there. I think
Isaiah probably will.
Isaiah will come out from Extathlon.
I don't know. I mean, if there's a big payday that's worth it, he'll chase it.
Right. What about Mac Roche?
He's not a good enough runner. He's fantastic at the workout zones, but he's not a good enough runner to probably make that podium.
He says he's commenting in live. Okay, let's go back to
who is.
He said 30,000, but that's not specific enough. I need more. Be more specific. Botsford, comment in there. Top, is it 10.52? What is it? And who's already confirmed? And then I'll post about it.
It's probably like 75, 5, and 25, or 7,500, because that adds up to 15. You do.
Oh, because my fucking thing paused. That's why my stupid thing paused. 30K prize money for Dallas. Okay, now we need to know how that breaks down and who's already coming and who's going to be on the invite list. And will you be hiring Jack and I to provide this kind of exciting insight and analysis for the Hyrox live broadcast?
I'm gonna guess it's either 10,000, 4,000, 1,000 for top 3, or 7,500, 5,000, 2,500. Those are the normal breakdowns. I think World's Toughest Mudder did 10, 4, 1. So that would be my guess.
Email me a link and I can jump on. Genius. Let's do it.
There we go. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Oh my God. What a great show this turned out to be.
2021 is so much better than 2020.
Right?
Yeah. I've been up for like 3 hours and it's great.
Yeah. Let's get Hyrox in here. Fuck yeah. America. Fuck yeah.
Hey, America won also. So
America won both.
Both of them. Yep. Lauren taking home the trophy and Hunter as expected. Yeah. I definitely would like to have seen, if COVID didn't happen, how would things have changed? And I believe last year they had an invite only, like 10 or 15, maybe 20, get invited to the championship only heat. That would have been really cool seeing a Ryan Kent and some of those other people.
Yeah, baby.
Yo.
Hey, thanks for joining.
Hyrox, ladies and gentlemen, live. He was in Germany. Now he's back.
Magic.
I'm assuming he's had several COVID tests and he's quarantined properly because he's a follower of the rules.
I am. Yeah. It's funny too, because like the COVID bubble, right? So let's just get that out of the way really fast. We got our noses jammed like so many times while we were there. It was insane. We were all pretty raw, which is, I don't know, may have affected their breathing during the competition. But yeah, we're back in the States. I've been watching your guys' show for a while now, since the end of the broadcast. And Jack, I didn't know you were such a, can I have you do all my spreadsheets for me? Because like that is, you are freaking talented, my man.
Thanks. Yeah, that one I put together in a hurry. I'd normally make them look a little prettier, but the color coding is what really helps, just like, oh, boom, look towards the blue. Who's good at it? Red, they're bad at it. It makes it easy looking at it that way.
Yeah, and I apologize, I didn't get to see all the stats, but I do want to, your point about the carpet too. This is something that's come up a bit with Hyrox. And we want to get consistency across it. I love was it pulling it, or was he pushing it across jelly or something like that?
Yeah.
What you'll notice too, the sleds in the show, and maybe the ones in Essen that you were discussing, were probably brand new sleds on brand new carpet, which has a lot to do, right? So
different friction rates.
Yeah, different friction rates. So you just look at that, how many times they've been taken in and out of the truck and everything like that. So that can have a big effect. But yeah, there's no way Toby could push the 109 or whatever that is,
I was looking, I'm like, what did you have, like, Hunter pushing it or a tandem or something? But yeah.
But hey, I gotta give Toby a big shout out. That guy, I'm telling you, ate and drank his way through that competition, which was so impressive. Truly a sign of the triathlete. I mean, skinniest guy in the field, but I was just rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because I know in the ultra world, they say it's actually an eating and pooping contest with running in between. That's kind of how it looked like, where he was just fueling the whole time. It's like an eating contest with some wall balls also.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I love what you're breaking it down well. Very, very excited, as you maybe have already discussed. My transition over to Hyrox now is basically a couple different, buckets, right? So we're trying to obviously kick off for 2021. Dallas is like such an important thing for us. Matt, I heard you mention too the elite race. I can definitely get into that in just a second.
Yeah.
But also the media property. I do want to, for all the OCR CrossFit runners out there that really love to watch their favorite athletes, but may not be able to tour the circuit like all of us other crazies that do this for a living. I definitely want to find the right, like, comedy, like just the right equation that makes Hyrox like a super fun and engaging, media property. So for all you viewers out there that are just like super amped on this type of thing, like, believe me, maybe even Matt and I will get back in the booth together and start banging out some.
You guys are in the booth right here.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what's so interesting, Jack, and I got to bring this up. To everybody who enjoyed Tough Mudder X out there and that still to this day hit me up about how great of a competition that is, I just want to say I love you guys, because that competition, I mean, in a perfect world where Tough Mudder and CBS could get together again, maybe, which probably will never happen. I would love to bring that show back. I think it was such a great thing, and so many people still to this day. I mean, in Hunter's interviews, talking to him, he was just like, I was like, hey man, what, of all the accolades you've ever won, like what was like one of, the coolest thing you've done? And he's like, well, going to CrossFit Games is pretty rad, and winning Tough Mudder X. And I was like, I like little tear.
Well, you know what? You know what, E-Rock, is I was so green to the CrossFit space. And now when I look back, I'm like, we had Vellner, Hepner, Panchik. Like, I had no idea I was sitting in like this just room of greatness. It was like unbelievable how fucking amazing the talent was. It's also where Jack and I fell in love, but that's another conversation. But no, TMX
and you had your quote, the look of the fitness. That's memorable.
TMX was amazing.
Yeah, it was a fun thing. So and then once again, great segue right here into the Dallas event. So Dallas is coming up February 20th. For all y'all in the Texas area, I'm actually headed to Texas next week. We're gonna go do a big gym tour down there because Texas is open and it's fitness is going down there. So we're gonna be heading out, just doing some PR and that type of stuff. But the elite race, the invitational, which this literally was spawned out of the success we just saw here, right? We have now Lauren and Hunter, these two champs, bringing it back to the States, and now it's an invitational. So we're going to get 10 of the best men, 10 of the best women from all different. And I heard some names coming around. I pinged Faye. Obviously, Corinna has already given me like a verbal yes. She's in, which I think you guys were talking about this earlier, right? The Corinna and Lauren race. Yeah. That, my friends.
Oh yeah.
I'm literally getting chills just thinking about that, right? And then also, I think as more of the CrossFit athletes or the functional fitness athletes come into the sport, I would love to see someone challenge Hunter on the strength, but also, as you saw right here with Toby, in my new man crush, like this guy, it really comes down to the runner. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can be just game on the runner and just get back to it and find that efficiency, that's what's going to take Hunter down. So we'll see in Dallas who shows up for this, but I've already got some good names coming too.
Yeah. That's what we were discussing, where the curved treadmill takes about 20% longer to do that. And if you're running a 6-minute mile, that now you're doing it in 7 minutes roughly. So that times 8, that's an 8-minute gap extra. So the best runners are going to be the ones who rose to the top. And look what happened. Lucas and Hunter, they're almost identical in terms of running ability. Toby, who you mentioned, like 31 something 10K runner, just fantastic. And a lot of people were expecting big things out of Adam Klink. He clearly did really well, got 4th place, but being able to run 1 mile fast is way different than being able to run 5 miles fast. And 5 miles really felt like 6.5 because of this treadmill, the curved treadmill, just adding in a little bit of extra, time spent on there. So I think that it definitely did come down to who was the better runner. But in general, that's what Hyrox comes down to. Who's a great runner with a great functional output. So
what were the payouts, Eric, for Germany? What were the payouts?
I think it was like 5K to, just like kind of break the normal, but I think it was 5K to for the first place.
And to be clear, in Dallas, it'll be an invitational, but then there'll still be like a regular pro wave. If you're not one of those 10 invites, you'll be in the regular pro wave.
Yeah, which the normal purse prize money for that the pro waves is still intact. We're just obviously throwing up 30K for this elite wave. So it's going to be broken down 10-3-2. So it's big payday for the winner. I think Hunter's basically just he was really pushing for that type of payout to grab a lot of the athletes that are like kind of just like on the fence, like, oh, I don't want to fly out for like a 2K payout day or whatever, take all the COVID restrictions and all that kind of stuff into play. So it's big money. We're talking like not TMX 25K money, but like it's
you'll get people showing up.
Definitely. Absolutely. And what I really, really am excited about, Ryan Atkins, if you're watching this.
He said he wanted to go. I
know.
Him.
And verbally, yeah. And Lindsay, please, Lindsay, if you're watching too, I'd love to see both of you because it's been way too long. But Ryan, definitely, I think if there's anyone that scares Hunter, and believe me, Hunter and I had a few beers at a few different times during our Germany trip. If there's one dude that Hunter, I think, is kind of like, makes him a little nervous, I think it's Ryan Atkins.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that 10,000 is enough, even 3,000 per second, where you'll get people, they'll be like, I confidently think I'll end up on this podium. I'll at least more than break even. It's worth my time. There've been no competitions for a year. It's worth it. And I was at that Dallas event last year, and it's such an electric atmosphere. Like you walk in there, you're like, am I at like a club or something? Like it's just, great music, huge, displays and stuff. It's a really cool environment.
So Ryan, Jack, both of you actually, Ryan's faster than Hunter, but where would he have to do the work to like
sled pull? That's gonna trash people. You weigh 165 pounds, like I'm 185. That thing took me like 6.5, 7 minutes. And since you don't have the plates to dig into, I think if it was, you get to sit down and pull, it would be a much easier thing. But the carpet issue, as we've discussed, and that you got to fix that. But it really does make a difference. That is the single biggest station that's going to wreck him. And I don't know about wall balls. That if you're not used to 100 wall balls that far in, you can have a great engine, but that is such a specific movement that you need to practice. If you haven't practiced that, you're going to get to 50 and be like, oh crap.
But he could build that thing we saw in his barn right now and start.
Yeah,
right?
You can do like I've worked out with Ryan Kent at his apartment or house, whatever, in Castle Rock, and like we did it against the side of his house. You don't need a target. You just need like, here's an arbitrary line that I'm going to say is 10 feet, and that's what I got to get it over.
Is that the men's line? Is the men's line 10 feet, Eric?
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah, same thing, 10 and 9. So yeah, we're in the same zone there. And yeah, so I'm just getting messages from the German team here too. So like they're saying thank you, number one, for doing this and talking this broadcast through. You guys have done a great job with it so far. And yes, going back to Ryan, I think that what we saw, and once again, like my experience with it, it sounds like Jack, you went to Miami, you were in Chicago too. Matt, you're in Chicago.
I've done 3 of them.
Yeah, you've done 3. I've only got to do 1 before COVID hit, and that was Chicago. And when I went back in Germany, what we saw was, somebody like Viola, right? So Viola is insane. Like that girl had such an amazing pace and just comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it came down to what we're talking about here, right? The form on the rower, the form on the wall balls, like it's all those like little key CrossFit, I say CrossFit, like for more functional movements that are practiced in the gym each and every day. Being efficient on that is really what it's going to come down to. And I know I've watched Ryan work out a lot. I mean, I saw him at TMX a bunch of times. I mean, it's literally, there's no doubting the guy's capacity. It's just, it becomes down to like efficiency of movement.
Yeah. Like my first time on the ski erg was a lot slower than my second time. Like you pick up on it. And I mentioned that on the broadcast, where the reason I didn't pick a lot of the newcomers was because you have such a rate of improvement your second or third time doing Hyrox, where the first time you're like, okay, that was a lot harder than the simulation I did at my gym. That doesn't translate at all. Like, cause there were a bunch of people who were like, oh yeah, we broke an hour. And it's like, no, you didn't. Not in the actual competition. So,
I mean, this is the Adam Klink, Sam Briggs story, right? Like, I mean, you have, I mean, Sam Briggs is known as the engine, right? And I was like, when I talked to her, I interviewed her and everything like that, we we're talking about the engine, and she was just like, yep. I mean, it's all about like my capacity to work. And you saw that too, which was really interesting. The MyZone stats up on the board, having that technology piece right there to see how, Viola, boom, dude, she was hanging a 96% of her max heart rate the whole time. But she could like sustain it. Sam, Adam, they both lived in that 87. They're used to those 15-minute AMRAP type of things where they can kind of just cruise through. So yeah, that was a really interesting piece to watch there as well, because they got to that point where that 30-minute mark or 40-minute mark hit, and their bodies went to like, holy shit, what the fuck am I doing?
Like CrossFit endurance is not the same time domain as actual endurance that you'd see in OCR or triathlon. It's 30 minutes is long. That's like the shortest sprint that we have in Spartan and stuff. So it's
Did you measure their actual zone? Like what was the base for those numbers?
Yeah, so MyZone was on hand, which by the way, like we're trying to work a deal with MyZone now to get them at all these events. I think it's a really crucial point. I've used the technology for a few years now in the Tough Mudder gyms that I've been building. So I think it's good. I think the algorithm is such that like obviously there's some it's not as like accurate as like an EKG if you go to the hospital or whatever, but it's going to give you a baseline depending on your weight, age, and just overall baseline. The algorithm basically, like the more you wear it, the easier it, or the more calculated it becomes. And so that's why you did see a little bit of fluctuation, like especially, I don't know if you could see it on the screen, but it was like Adams was all over the board. Like
he was like down to 73 and then 95. It was
kind of a weird deal, but that's just the algorithm trying to like calculate itself. But no, we didn't do any like overall baseline. It's basic mathematics until the MyZone actually. And that was like that was the only time they'd ever worked out with it on. So there is some variability.
And did we find out what what happened with our girl there in the I'm sorry, the woman who DNF'd? What
Linda Meyer.
you know what happened to her?
Yeah, man, it was so interesting. I feel bad for that. I mean, a lot of those, and Jack, I heard you say that too earlier, like about like, oh, he's from Germany, so we don't pay him to travel too much. Like, you know, there was certainly that aspect there when we started dipping into some of these girls like Imka. I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with Imka, but
she
like,
is insane.
you know, she got injured. There was a little bit of like, man, like I think she was a little nervous about competing. Same with Linda. Same with the other girl, Rebecca. Rebecca got bumped the day before because she like all of a sudden she was all fired up. I was working out with her in the gym, and then she had like she went to the freaking emergency room like that night because she was so anxious for the competition. She had some kind of like heart malfunction. I don't know, like freaked out. So I mean, these German girls, like they're just not, they're not used to the big stage, I guess, you know? And then I think same thing for Linda. That poor girl, like you could just tell like her eyes were just so big before the competition. And she got shin splints essentially is what knocked her out. But I think it was a lot of just like, I'm working out right next to Sam Briggs and like, holy shit, like what the hell am I doing here? Like there was a huge like, oh shit moment. You could just see it, and she just freaked out.
But that kind of, it's like Ryan Atkins or John Albin or Lindsay, like it doesn't matter who's next to them. They know their abilities. They probably get nerves to a certain degree, but I think what makes you a champion is being like, all right, here's the environment I'm in for the next hour. Like I've got to perform. And I think that you could have a bunch of people it's like regular season versus postseason. You can have a great stats all year, but like if you might end up losing in the first round every year because you're just not ready for what the postseason entails.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And once again, to everybody watching this right here, like if there's ever been like a Hunter McIntyre, like, you know, just somebody that's like kind of gone like, dude, I don't think the guy's like really that badass. It was me, 100%. Hunter and I have known each other for a bunch of years where I'm always like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That dude, I got to say it, Hunter, if you're watching, you know I love you, bro. Actually, we're working closely well now together. A lot of things happened in Dallas. It was good. We squashed a lot of our old past. But the guy just freaking owns it, dude. I mean, there is a few competitors, and I've been an athlete my entire life, like few competitors that I've seen like walk into a competition knowing that they're going to win. Like, and that's what makes Hunter so damn good. And plus, like, you know, the other thing too is for those of you who don't know Hunter that well, like the dude's huge. Like he's a big dude. And like, you know, so this race series is, I mean, just it's perfectly primed for him. So
can he be beat?
I do think so. I think Hunter knows that there's like people out there. And the other thing I respect the hell out about Hunter is that like, he wants them to come and try it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that the hunger inside of him is still not fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to be pushed. You know, he wanted Lucas to freaking punch him. Like, you know what I mean? Like right across, standing next to each other. Like, you know, start throwing elbows. Dude, he loves that kind of thing. Like, he just wants to be pushed to that point. So I hope when in Dallas we see something. You know, Ryan Kinsella on the fence. Obviously, he can't be out there just because his you know wife's pregnant and he's got his own things going on, but like, hey, I mean, if I can get Ryan out of his cave and, you know, doing his, you know, icicle biking and whatever he does, like in Canada,
biking.
I don't know, whatever the hell they use.
He puts the icicle in bicycle. Yeah.
Dude, I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I asked if he can be beat was because I mentioned earlier, Hunter has the fastest total workout time of all 8 stations. He did it in just under 24 minutes. Lucas has the next fastest, just under 25. I don't think that there's anybody who can put 2 minutes on Hunter in the workouts. That he doesn't have enough flaws. And if they do, are they within 2 minutes of his running ability? Because he's such a good runner. And then throw in the rock zone where it's going to be a little more running. I just don't think that you're going to get people challenging him within like a minute or so.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. And then as you saw, we've been kind of alluding to, right? Experience has a whole lot to do with it, right? You know, these guys just are not used to running these type of intervals. They're just going to get smoked. So yeah, I think it'll be a challenge for sure. I think he's going to hold it. But no, I'm fired up. I'm fired up to bring it back to the States, dude. I mean, just in the short time that I've been on the Hyrox team, like just the people that have been messaging me and like the athletes that are going to kind of swap over or like add this to their season. I know you're a Spartan, you know, guy. Like, are we going to see a lot more Spartan people like interested in this, or is this just
I think that everyone kind of in the past 2 years has realized, am I a beast guy in the mountains? Do I enjoy the stadium? Do I like the functional stuff? People have started to specialize, and people aren't afraid to be like, you know what? I'm giving up on the US National Series. I'm going to focus on Hyrox and Deca and like that style racing. So I do think that you're having people who primarily would have kind of faked their way into the old series be like, this is what I'm going to focus on. And I do think that you'll have some focus there, but everyone knows it's like you're going there to try to win 3,000. Like you're not beating Hunter. That's what everyone who's paid attention to OCR and this style stuff, like unless you're completely brand new to the sport, you know he's the man to beat, and you're not going to do it your first time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Eric, thank you so much for hopping on, dude. I really appreciate it.
I'm fired up today. What a perfect day, dude. January 1st, we get to see a new show. Man, and more stuff's coming, dude. I'm telling you. Okay, last pump plug for the freaking Dallas event because I want everybody there. Matt, I know you're coming. Jack, I don't know if you want to come.
I'll try. I've had an Achilles injury for 3 months, so I haven't been running. But if I'm healthy, I'd love to do it again.
Can I just use you as my like stats guy on like the broadcast?
We can talk about that. Yeah.
Maybe that would work. I like this. Kick Matt out of the broadcast booth. Bring in old Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, guys. Hey, check it out. If you're interested in running Dallas, please, you can DM me, DM Hyrox America, Hyrox World, whatever. Let's get some folks out there. We really want to stack the not only the elite invitational piece, but like the pro race as well. So if you're a Spartan pro, if you're like a badass Tough Mudder athlete, if you're a CrossFit athlete, like come on out. We really want to make this like a good kickoff. Our big message right now is like hashtag free the fitness. We got to bring fitness back. We got to bring competition back, and Hyrox is doing it like in the safest possible manner. We're getting COVID tests for people. We're doing, we have this antimicrobial we're putting all over the equipment to make it all like COVID safe. So we're showing the world that Hyrox can bring live events back to the masses because we all need it real bad.
All right, dude. Yep. Thank you all so much.